Yo, what's up, Neo World? How you doing? Hope you're having a lovely morning. Hope you have a great stream. I hope I have a great stream too. I'm good, just having lunch before stream. Oh, shit. What are you having for lunch? Just chilling in the meantime? What are you having for lunch? Should probably eat soon now I'm thinking about it.
So, you want to hear a story, huh?
Tempura
A
shrimp and
tale
some
of
rice? What the
adventure
fuck?
Across the stars. Come,
Come
listen to old Marcus. Have I got a story for you? My tale begins here, on this backwater planet called Pandora. Some say it is a wasteland of greed and violence, and it is. But if you've got skills to pay the bills, Pandora is full of opportunity. Vault hunters. They brave the merciless borderlands in search of secret alien treasure. My father told me tales of vault hunting when I was but a little Marcus boy. And now
Little Marcus
I
boy.
tell you. So, you ask, what treasures do the vaults hide? Fame, wealth, power. Or maybe nonsense like charity or
Shame
family.
about the
I don't
movie,
know,
lol.
use
The
your
movie was
imagination.
like mid. It was not good, but it wasn't
A
bad.
vault hunter
Great
must have the
games. They are great
determination
games.
to
Everything except
seize
pre-sequel. I hate
victory
pre-sequel.
from the jealous hands of fate. Now, my story is about a very special band of vault hunters who have only just started their journey. They are
It was better than the
bold
Doom
and
movie, I guess. Yeah, that's my
maybe
big
old
comparison.
Marcus
It's
tells
better
you
than the
this
Doom
story
movie.
because they remind
Not that it
me
is a high
of
bar to
you.
set.
Just a little. Don't let it go to your head.
Just a little. Don't let it go
These
to your
new
head.
vault hunters are answering a siren's call. Her name is Lilith, and she is a hero, savior of Pandora a dozen times over. Lilith is recruiting a team to hunt for a map. A map that leads to
Ready for the
vaults
next
all
game.
over the
I want to play
galaxy.
Borderlands 4.
But she is not the only one. Dark forces have gripped the
Coming out this year, isn't it?
borderlands. A new threat,
Ooh.
unlike anything the galaxy has seen before.
I'm still trying to wake up.
My story begins right here on Pandora with our new Vault Hunters, their siren leader, and most importantly,
Me. Yeah, in 2025. Yeah, fuck yeah. I'm ready for Borderlands 4. Yeah, Sony has made a bunch of poor decisions lately, Neo. Especially with the Helldivers bullshit. Yeah, that was hilariously awful. Yeah, they could have gone about it so much easier and it would have been perfectly... It could have helped them all their time. They had a hit on their ends and they shat their pants. Yeah, and the thing is, they didn't even have to. They didn't even have to do it. They wanted to do it because they wanted to make it look good for their like quarterly reports. They could have easily gotten people to sign up for Sony and boost their numbers like 200% if they would have just made it like a sign up and you get a free battle pass or a free cosmetics, and they would have boosted their numbers and kept a very big demographic, like 900% more than they normally have. But they fucked up because they don't know how to market themselves long term. They want to look good right now. Yeah. Karma's a bitch. Yeah, Sony's going down. Sony thinks that they can do what Nintendo does and get away with it, but they can't. Nintendo brings too much of its own proprietary stuff to the market so they can get away with it. Both Sony and Nintendo kind of do some strange things. Yeah, I don't like that Nintendo does what it does, but they also push a lot more proprietary stuff so they can get away with it. Yeah, it's bullshit what Nintendo's doing. And then them shutting down Citra, that was fucked up. I really wanted to get good with Zane on this game, but I don't like his playstyle. It's run around and avoid everything until you fucking get a power up. And I just don't like it. It's not fun. I love to play Black. Moe's is alright. If you build Moe's right, Moe's can be fun. Amara's alright. It wasn't great, but it's alright. So what should I do this time? Y'all got a preference? I haven't played in forever. Dude, it's so good. I love this game. I don't love it as much as 2, but this is like, it's 2, 3, 1 pre-sequel. And the only reason I put 1 so low is because 1 is so fun because it's broken. I want to play Flak again, but have you ever played Remnant? No, I haven't. I downloaded it to play with a friend, and then we got lost in the sauce doing something else. I think we were playing Far Cry New Dawn or something, and that was an awful game. I want to play Flak. Fuck it. It's a third-person shooter, kind of Souls-like, but it's really fun. I know what it is. It's just we didn't get to play it. There's a second one. There's a second Remnant.
Someone survived the attack. I'm Lilith, commander of the Crimson Raiders. The bandits you fought are part of a cult.
Is it the same? Is it the same story, or is it a different game?
For now, my scout is waiting for you up ahead. Good luck.
Is it the same story, or is it a different story completely?
This is your stop, Volta.
It follows the first one? Oh, okay. But same universe? Alright. And welcome to Pandora.
You must be the new recruit. I am a CL4PTP steward bot, but you can just call me General Claptrap of the Crimson Raiders.
Wasn't even a negative reaction.
You are allowed to call me Flack.
What's a negative reaction?
Thanks. I'll pre-order your tombstone just in case. Now, those jerks who tried to murder you are the Children of the Vault, a bandit cult who follow their creepy leaders with blind devotion.
What negative reaction, Cloud?
If you obey my every second call, you'll need an echo device. The Echo 3, slightly more powerful than the Echo 2 and twice as expensive. Besides, the Echo 2 had a tiny issue of spontaneous combustion, so they rebranded those as grenades.
Spontaneous combustions.
Now listen up, recruit. Lilith ordered us to take over a Children of the Vault propaganda center. Time to show those culty weirdos that no one messes with the Crimson Raiders. Follow me, recruit, to glory! the cult, I'll be famous. And when I'm signing autographs, I need you looking sharp while defending me from my legions of fans/stalkers.
All right, let's see. We're gonna go with regular flak. I like regular flak the most. I've never seen this one. I want to use that one. Let's see what the other ones are. I think I'm gonna go with the one that I wanted. The really goofy one. This one. Skin.
You awfully attractive.
Freedom fashion. Dude, that's American right there. Let's go Neon Dreams. Where's the cool one that I had? There it is. Space Cats.
User agreement. Boring. Don't worry. The propaganda center is this way.
The propaganda center is this way.
Unlock gate? No! This can't be happening! The entire mission is ruined! Think, Claptrap, think! You're brave and powerful, and people always do as you tell them to. That's it! Recruit, get that gate open! That's an order from your superior officer! You did it! Best recruit ever!
Don't get cocky. I don't know why, but I just want to chill on Borderlands today.
The propaganda center is up ahead. Those cultists have been killing Crimson Raiders left and right. They totally suck scat balls. But I've got a foolproof plan to kick their culty ass. I hit a weapons cache nearby. Stay quiet and follow my every move. It's stealth time.
Sometimes you just want to play something familiar and cozy. True, Neo. Dude, you know how to fucking speak what I'm trying to say, but I just don't have the words. Man, Neo's awesome. That's why I'm going back to Bloodborne today, minus the cozy part. I don't know, maybe you find it cozy. Well, actually, Bloodborne's hard, so never mind.
Perfect. Once we complete our mission, Lilith has to promote me to Super General.
No, she doesn't.
That was stealth. How have you survived this long?
Nah, I should have a what the fuck counter when I play instead of a death counter. You should do that. You should do that, honestly. And then you could get like one of those foot pedals, and then you could just click it every time you say what the fuck. It's a good idea. Yeah, it's an amazing idea. You can have it, dude. It's all yours.
Wait here. I'll talk my way in, become their king, and then you'll surprise slaughter them in cold blood. Watch it.
I'll give credit if I use it. Nah. You came up with it on your own.
Anyone there?
Hi, Claptrap.
Your path ends here.
I know Claptrap can be a little claptrap, but you still want
I know Claptrap can be a little
I'll be there soon.
Claptrap. I think I'm missing a gun. There should be one more gun in here. You should get 4 guns before you go in there. Oh, the other gunner's right there. I remember being blown away when the first Borderlands came out because I was primarily an FPS gamer and loved Diablo. I didn't play Borderlands 1 until Borderlands 2 came out, and then I was like, let me give this Borderlands game a try, and then no, Borderlands 2 had just been announced, and I was like, I want to give that a try. Let me try Borderlands 1 before this one comes out, and then that Christmas I got Borderlands 2, and I dropped Borderlands 1. I played Borderlands 2 so fucking much. It was like a year before I played a different other game. Yeah. Hello? I picked it up and oh, I can't use it yet. That's cool. I love it getting guns I can't use. $20? Just got done playing Borderlands 2, and the menu is different in this one, and I don't like it. I like the Borderlands 2 menu better. Search the area for a shield. Thank you. Although the best thing they did in this game was A, slide, and B, that mounting. Yeah, because I love this fucking I think it's a shield or it might be a relic that wherever you slide you get a snowball. Dude, that shit is so much fun. I learned that way too late. Okay. Do it.
A titan, your death will be glorious. Shoot it at combat.
I don't think I ever tried that. Damn, it's pretty fucking fun, dude. Okay, so it's like a shield, and then like every time you slide, there's like a snowball that like it rolls, and then it just fucking throws it. This game just flows so well, it does. Do I have any rifles? I do not.
Score one for the Crimson Raiders. You and Claptrap secure the area. I'm on my way.
Are you dead? If not, get me down! The controls are on the second floor!
Let's see. I'm only Guardian 112 on here. I'm like 25,000 badass tokens on fucking Borderlands 2. Right, there we go. Sheesh. Yeah, my Borderlands 2 is fucking ridiculous. But I also have played it for like multiple years, like constantly. Like, and there was a point where I was doing like 3 or 4 playthroughs every year.
You did it! I'm back!
The pack leaves no one behind.
Lies of P was that for me last year, but I came back to it this year and got stuck on New Game Plus. Oh shit. I gotta get good. Get good, dude. Just get good.
DOV and send them packing. Now all that's left is to signal Lilith that the mission is complete.
I'm not even good at Borderlands. I just played a lot. I'm washed, yo, dude. Don't speak ill.
Report that Operation Trojan Claptrap was a complete success. I did it all by myself.
I'll bet. Well, the cult's destroyed every other Crimson Raider stronghold. We'll have to do for now. What's your name, killer?
I look with it another time.
It's your funeral.
Hey, can you hear bloodthirsty screaming?
More COV. Let's see what you got, recruit. I'll be right here.
It's the Firehawk! The God Queen wants her head! I will have a place in the Great Hall!
Man,
Lucky. Closer. The hunt continues, but yours won't. Hungry, eh, beast?
nice fighting, killer. All right, way.
Yeah, I get it, Lilith. For the 100th time, I understand that we're looking for vaults.
Bandit clans used to just murder each other for fun. Now they're all under one banner. A cult.
The children of the vault.
Right. Come on, let's take a look around. Their leaders are the Calypso twins, and their followers worship them like gods. They're convinced the map will lead them to something called the Great Vault, and they've been slaughtering anyone who gets in their way. We heard a rumor that a bandit clan found an alien artifact in the desert. Could be the map. That's what we're here to find out.
I'll stand guard.
Sure, Claptrap.
What do we have here?
What does that say? Oh, skill issue. I've never been able to beat a Souls game, ever. I'm far too fragile.
Map. We have to beat them to the Sun Smash. I'll open the gate.
Yeah. I'm far too fragile. My first was Elden Ring, I fell in love with it, then went hardcore into all the Souls games and even Souls like for 2 years. I have them all, except for Sekiro and Demon Souls. I'm awful. And it's not like riding a bike. It's like riding a really psychotic bike, you know, one that stabs you. It's like riding a really psychotic bike.
I'm gonna set up camp and gather some intel on the Calypso. Find the Sun Smasher war chief and do
It
whatever
does
it takes.
teach me to never give up, though.
Like you guys got this. Good luck. I'm gonna go hang out in traffic. What are we working
Dude, I give up when Zelda games take too much, and Zelda isn't even that hard.
at the moment? It's not the first time the Raiders have had to start from scratch. It's no sanctuary. Hope Ellie gets that ship working soon.
I didn't finish Breath of the Wild. See? You know what I'm talking about. This is what they call a pro gamer move. Yo, Neo, welcome to level 2. Durabilities and repairs, okay, that's fair. But breaking? Yeah, see, I believe Breath of the Wild is only hard because of that, the fact of that itself. Like, I feel as though that's false difficulty. It's kind of like whenever, instead of making a game harder, they just crank up like a person's like damage. Instead of making it difficult, they just make it to where it's like you just have to be hit less. It's not really making it harder, it's just increasing the amount of damage you have to be able to take. I don't get it. Right? Like, you don't have an inventory to manage without worrying about carrying enough items to make it through somewhere. Exactly. Like, the only world in which, like, inventory, like, really makes sense is in, like, big RPGs. And then, like, in Zelda, when things break, it's just ridiculous. Because it's like, oh, great, I have this awesome sword. And it's like, well, should I use it? It's like, oh, well, I better use a stick. Yeah, I have ADHD too. That's why you see me always trying to find more and more and more money on here. Although Diablo 4 was really nice, you can port out and port right back to where you are, so that was a really nice change. Man, that is bright.
Look upon me, for I am beauteous.
Yeah, I can't handle throwing stuff away. It annoys me. Alright, I think we have enough money to do what I want to do. Yeah, I enjoyed D4, but I haven't played since Season 2. I haven't played since... Yeah, I think Season 2. I just... While it was on sale, I bought the Ultimate Edition of Vessel of Hatred. So, I loaded that up before I started streaming, and I was like, I don't want to start this right now. And then I bought a really cool fucking Barbarian skin.
My vending machine is broken? Gah, how am I supposed to profit off this war-torn... I mean, sell premium weapons to heroic vault hunters such as yourself. Let's fix my vending machine. And by that I mean...
I haven't gotten that yet. I literally just got it this weekend. Because I worked an extra shift because I worked holiday hours, so I got like extra pay. I was like, I'll just buy the DLC and I can play it here soon.
I'd like to know who I'm working with. What made you decide to be a vault hunter?
I like money.
Death calls me across the stars to hunt the living and send them. I am her knight, and I must forever oppose myself. The vaults are the ultimate hunt. You there, Death! Do you see me?
I can get you.
The hunt continues, but yours won't.
Happy New Year, Wolf Maddox. How are you? Damn, you're making me want to play this again, too? It's a pretty good game. I suggest it. I'm good, thanks. Got my new lights put up. How are you? I'm doing pretty good. I woke up this morning and wanted to comfy chill today on stream, so I'm playing Borderlands. Even though I have a whole bunch of new games from Christmas, it's just like, I kind of want to play this. Oh my god, yeah, I've been so into Jurassic Evolution, I don't want to play anything else. I'm trying to remember which one Jurassic Evolution is. Jurassic Evolution, the one that's like, you have to manage the park. You build your own park islands, and every time you upgrade the stars and move on to the next one. Ah. I never got into that one. I wanted to play it, but I just was like, There's so much ethical guidelines. I don't want to have to, you know, put in applications for lien. It's crazy. I thought I wouldn't like it, but I got into playing Lamau. I played it for 50 hours. Jesus, dude. Oh, I guess you like it.
Hello! Somebody help me! I would prefer not to die like this! Help! All these are garbage!
Excuse me. The hunt!
Someone help me! That would be you!
Nice, nice. Hmm.
Get me down! Hello!
Dude, calm down. I'm gonna get you down. I'm just collecting money.
Die like this! Save me!
Much fun chilling. I'll be in lurk mode all day, but we'll definitely drop by when I'm free. Finish my life, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop stalling. Get live. Yo, you have a good stream. Hope you have a wonderful day.
Get you down! If you were in trouble.
Thanks for chatting, homie. Yo, you're welcome.
Yo! Little help? Shoot me now, will ya? I like the head, not like
Skill issue type shit going on. Oh, I gotta get to the next level, dude.
Hey, thanks. If you hadn't come along, I might be dead. So, what are you doing here?
I am on an unending hunt for the glory of... Oh, as in right now, I am working with Lilith and the Crimson Raiders.
The amount that I expect crashes since the emulator's still experimental. Yo, dude, you're gonna play the Bloodborne on PC, dude. I've been looking at that, and it's crazy how much progress they've made.
Well, what do? They tie me up and take it to the Calypso twins. Not cool, bro. Well, we should probably get out of here before the COB come back.
Is it running that great, dude?
The cult propaganda center nearby. It's our territory now.
Now we're talking. Come on, let's get
That's pretty good, Neo.
I'll lead the way. Even though I'm totally can't let them know you're afraid and totally defenseless, bro. Bandit life!
Bandit live!
So, you took over that COV propaganda center all by your little self?
All by your whittle cell?
Sick.
Wounded animals. You're able to complete the game already? No fucking way. 95% complete. That's kind of, dude, that's fucking awesome. God, I love fucking people who compile shit. Way better than my PS4. Well, the PS4 is really nothing to walk home about.
Let's go meet up with the fire. Those Calypsos won't stop until every bandit on Pandora worships them like gods. The bandits don't need gods. We worship a hot fire and a charred piece.
That 30 FPS instead on the PS4 drove me insane. Dude, it's ridiculous. Anyway, much love, homie. I'll be here. Yo, Neo, have a good time on your Bloodborne.
Super tight, bro. Super tight. Like, bro tight. What's the thing? Pandora's trouble. Maybe that's just the harsh desert wind in my bare sun dappled chest. throw some bloody skulls up on the wall. You got yourself a nice cozy place here, friend.
Vaughn, what the hell are you doing here?
Hey, Lilith! Former war chief of the Sun Smashers reporting for duty! Go Raiders!
Oh, Crimson Raiders!
The Raiders will take all the help we can get. So, Vault Hunter, find the map?
The map was not there, so I acquired this bandit.
Talking about that alien, my clan is bringing us the Calypso twins as an offering. They're heading to the Holy Broadcast Center. It's where the Calypsos host murder sermons to amp up their followers.
Murder sermons? Dude. Fucking hell of a sentence.
Broadcast center is a long ride. Vault Hunter, you're gonna need some wheels. My friend Ellie runs the Catch a Ride. Go introduce yourself. She'll hook you up.
Alright, let's see. Can we do the other one first? There it is.
Damn psychos, always scavenging to make their buzz axes and meat bicycles. You'll need to replace that circuit with something. You know, some skags are chock full of electricity. Get me one of their spines. Better get used to doing things like this if you want to survive on Pandora. Oh, and if you're feeling extra gruesome, you could also try getting a human spine from one of those filthy bandits. That could work.
I know your pain, little friend. I will assist you.
Yes! I'm gonna be bigger and badder than ever! But this is an important fashion decision. Bring me replacement antenna options, recruit! Options, I say! Go for it! Even though finding me a new antenna is vitally important, you can do this mission on the side. And you'll probably want to get a vehicle for this one.
I have no blood, so I'm taking yours.
There's one of those shock skags now. Get its spine.
There's blood everywhere.
Go on, pick it up. Hope you don't mind handling viscera. Ah, very good. Bring it back to the machine. And be quick about it.
It's time to fight!
Okay, now install the spine. Well done, Vault Hunter. Now you have access to my vast array of murderous wares in a new convenient location. Good hunting! Guns for every occasion. Any item anywhere. Sell to me and I'll find a buyer.
Already got that one. Already got that one. I don't need this anymore. Let's see. Need this. Can I use this yet? I can. And I can spend points. Nah, that seems better. Where was the other one? Bad reception. Let's go do this one first. Let's try to get a character where we get every fucking goddamn mission done. Is that possible? Let's go. I have a bunch of achievements I still need to get on this game.
Yes, to the bloodletting!
Oh, I can't do that one yet. Fuck, dude, I hate that. Oh yeah, I'm gonna climb up here. Where's my...
Your true nature.
The hell? I've never even been back here. Oh my god, there's a fucking sigil back here. Wow, I gotta go on my other characters and get this. I didn't know this was back here. Really, dude?
Someone got the better of you, eh? Did I save your life? Yes. Did I inspect you for weak points? We may never know.
I hate this part. What?
Do not panic, beast.
I don't have enough ammo to do this one. I'm gonna need 3 guns, and one of them is gonna have to be a rifle. I need something long range. I thought I could do it with just the shotgun and pistol, but nah, it's not possible. Well, I mean, it would be possible. It'd just take forever, and it just wouldn't be worth it. I could spend my time doing a lot of other things. I need more weapons. That's fine. God, there's so much iridium out here, and I can't get it yet. Wait, they died. I think I just won by just walking away. That's fucking wild, dude. I can't believe that worked.
How's my mission going?
You're a terrible negotiator.
Can't even use that grenade yet, dude. Let's go talk to Ellie.
Let the hunt take you.
Okay, I see what happened here. Let me explain. I let the map slip into the hands of culty psychopaths, and now the whole galaxy's in danger.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Okay, same page. You know what this calls for? Apology push-ups.
Apology push-ups.
Ah, come on!
Seven times 6, 9 times 8. Gotta get rid of that one. I love looking around for money.
Now remind me, what'd you say you was gonna do to my gal pal Lil?
God Queen Tyree will drink soup from the skull of the great heretic.
My bad, finger slipped.
Hmm.
Oh, howdy! Didn't see you
I
there.
love Ellie. She's amazing. Now, what'd y'all say y'all was gonna do to my gal pal Lil?
I heard y'all were in negative. Good to see old Lil found some new blood. I'm Ellen. Hey, what are you staring at, honey?
Most humans are frail and weak, but you've got admirable heft, girl.
Ain't you a heartbreaker?
Admirable
Lil said you
heft,
looking for a
girl.
vehicle. Damn cultist stole all mine. Mind stealing me one back? Then I'll set you up with a catch ride. And thanks for coming by. Ever since that Hector sumbitch took down Sanctuary, we've been up to our tits in bandits. The Crimson Raiders sure as hell took a beating over the last few years. But with Lilith at the helm, I know we'll keep standing strong. We've spent the last I don't know how long following one vault map lead after another, and we ain't turned up jack squat. But Lil said she's got a new lead, and I got a feeling we're getting closer.
All can be reborn to the hunt.
Go on, Vault Hunter. March on up to the car of your choice and kick the driver out.
Irene, protect me!
Yep, I'm gonna need that, bud.
Just park your car there, hun. All right, now register with a catch ride so you can digistruct a new one whenever you want. Just in case you get a Pandora flat, meaning your car explodes.
Ellie got you rolling? Always does. Now, head to the Holy Broadcast Center and find that map.
I wonder how you get up there. Let's see. Let's go! Fuck, I went the absolute wrong way.
Yo, Ball Hunter. That road will take you right to the Holy Broadcast Center. Watch out for those so-called twin gods. From what I hear, Tyrene Calypso's the star of the show. Her brother Troy runs the cult's propaganda. P.S. They both suck. Just saying.
Oh shit, dude. Hmm.
Come on, boy.
Your life is forfeit! Come at me, posers! I'm doing what I love! My God, protected me!
This was always your end. I'm proud of you, Venus.
Let's see.
There must be something down there. See if you can open that floor door somehow. Mud power. Oh, a coat hanger? Yeah, that could give me sort of rustic vibes. No, rusty vibes.
Oh man. Wait, I don't. Oh, I do have skill points.
Ooh, watch out for all that scary electricity. There's gotta be a way to shut it off. Ooh, a spork might look nice. I'll rinse it off later.
Okay, there's that one.
I soar!
Whoa, that psycho is sporting a great hat. I want it. Get it for me, recruit. Just go talk to him. If he's reasonable enough.
Greetings, chum. How does the day find you?
Your cordial greeting has me uneasy for some reason.
Fear not, friend. I am keeping today. Give this mighty tap atop my head.
I require that metal headpiece.
Oh, no. I couldn't possibly part with it. Not right now. You'll have to destroy the mind control transmission dishes first. They're beaming voices into my brain.
You heard the man. Destroy those transmission dishes. I need that hat.
I can feel the mind control releasing its hold.
Another falls silent.
Yes! Keep destroying the dishes so that I can finally be free of the voices! Now I am free! Yes! We're free of those horrible calling voices! I can finally be the kid cupcake!
Well, he's dead. Now pick up that hat. Shiny. That hat would make me the talk of the town. Those snooty aristocrats couldn't kick me out of their fancy galas anymore.
The hunt is light.
Hate the Calypso twins so much. They contrabanded to Pandora with promises of death cards, storms, and blood sonnets. Good stuff, right? I mean, even my clan fell for it. And I've never seen the Calypsos myself, but they must be the most terrifying, bloodthirsty psychopaths Pandora's ever seen.
Nah, they look pretty emo.
My clan only accepted me as a leader after I killed a guy with just my abs. So imagine what it takes to unite all the clans together. You'd need like a 20-pack, 18 bare mins.
You'll have to get under that thing somehow.
Hey, I can't
spicy tang to my dogs and covers the emptiness. Harvest some of those succulent succulents. You'll get paid.
You can run.
I gotta pee quickly. I miss my friends. Wish they'd hang out with me. It's not what I wanted. Somebody go wake up Zetzley. I'm bored.
Fine, a website. Somebody was saying that this thing's auto locking. This is the whole thing behind Safe Moon. I mean, it's in the name, right? And y'all had it in your white paper about the locking, right? The auto locking. You did. So this is the whole problem that I'm struggling with. Is I just keep coming back to this feels like fraud. This is fraud. I mean, how could it not be? You guys are millionaires. Your investors are down 90%, and you guys are millionaires directly from a representation that was false.
I mean, we did tell people when we used it. I didn't make any false. We did change things a lot.
Now, honestly, this is where things started to kind of go in circles. And so I'll just leave it to you to decide how you want to feel about this. We changed it over time. Now, I want to move our conversation to talk about John Carone. Did you ever suspect Coroni of fraud?
Yes.
Holy wait, what? You did win.
I left, right? Like, when he started threatening to ruin the lives of the people that have been with me for 10 years, when he got all that the fake articles about Jack, the way that he treated everybody on the way out. I mean,
Now, safe mooners are going to say, oh, you got kicked out.
that's what they try to say about everyone. They didn't say it about me, but I know firsthand that they were trying to prepare a statement, and then their PR firm talked them down.
Wow. Papa says he suspected Coroni of fraud based on how he treated his fellow employees and said he routinely threatened his coworkers. I continued to dig about this, and I also tried to understand more about SafeMoon's true origins, specifically Coroni's origins. So, is it true that Coroni lived in a van or like trailer before SafeMoon?
Yes. Where did that come from? But it wasn't really. It was for him. It was a bougie trailer. He did it purposefully.
Well, I'm just saying it's not like he wasn't rich before SafeMoon.
No.
Okay, I'm just wondering. All right, now I want to show you something. What I'm about to show Papa next are the multiple $million-dollar payments to John Coroni from Bitmart. Because the idea is, after establishing Coroni was living in a trailer around the time that he stumbled into SafeMoon, suddenly he's being paid millions of dollars? Like, how? Thomas seemed equally perplexed.
Jesus Christ, what is that?
That's just a couple of several $million-dollar payments to Coroni. That's $6 million right there.
When was that? That was in
June
last year.
Yep.
Yeah. See, I knew a bunch of this was happening, but I didn't know it was going to him.
So you knew somebody was profiting from like.
Well, my understanding was that it was for SafeMoon, right?
This was just weird. How could Papa not have known Coroni's wallet was doing all of this? Because, to begin with, he was one of the people who told me that it was Coroni's wallet. Before our call, he told me he knew it was Coroni's wallet immediately based on the last 4 digits of
6ABE.
6ABE. He said in a DM, hey yo, that 6ABE is John. And then later told me this. How'd you also know that?
Oh, no, as soon as someone else pasted it to me, and as soon as I saw a 6ABE, I knew exactly what wallet it was instantly.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you hear, I think forever ago there were a few hints to it back at the AMAs and other, like Discord discussions, where he'd talk about Gabe, and people thought it was a person, but it's really just an address.
Oh.
So like kind of like the lead speak Gabe. Yeah.
That's so weird. Yo, what's up, Salad? How you doing?
Yeah,
not very smart, actually.
Now, after telling me this wallet was under John's control, Papa would later tell me he remembered this as a corporate account.
It's supposed to be a SafeMoon.
How you doing, Salad?
He then later clarified in DMs.
Doing alright? What you up to? I wanted to play some Borderlands 3, but I'm just not having fun all alone. But, like, I don't know what I want to do, and I'm just kind of fucking bored right now. All my friends are fucking at work or doing some other shit. So, like, there's nothing much I can do because everybody's busy.
Not a SafeMoon wallet. Confirmed. Now, as a reminder, Tano is a company John owned and controlled. Here at the Articles of Incorporation, he's the #1 member. And most importantly, he's not putting the money back in the LP like he's supposed to. To be honest, Papa's surprise about all this stuff in Coroni's wallet is just hard to believe. And maybe he was just playing dumb, I don't know. His explanation for a lot was the fact that basically John ran the show and he was basically just an employee.
It's not like any of those decisions were even remotely mine. So if misrepresentations, dude, I get marching orders. You got your boss that's asking you every 5 minutes if they're tracking what you're saying, or if you're tracking what they're saying. You know what I mean? Like that.
So you felt like you were just like an employee.
Well, yeah, I was a Tano employee the whole time.
I'm so bored.
Weren't you the CTO?
I was never a SafeMoon employee. And despite having a title or whatever, it's through the management contract with Tano, which was a gigantic. That's another mess that I need to deal with privately with John.
And this idea was a recurring theme. Papa told me that basically everything he did with the SafeMoon contract wasn't his idea. It was John's. This includes their Bitmart deal and how they used the liquidity pool. Papa told me that part of the way they were making money with Bitmart was a money market account. He told me they sold SafeMoon to Bitmart in exchange for money. I asked them where they got that SafeMoon. What does that mean? They bought it OTC over the counter from SafeMoon, but
it's just a private
how did SafeMoon have that SafeMoon to sell? Where did they get that from?
Right. So the migration, so when pancakes, there were a ton of migrations.
Mhm.
The V1 to V2 pancake swap. So it's V1 SafeMoon, V1 PCS, and the migration to V2 PCS. So when that happened, we had to move the liquidity over, and we had to find kind of weird ways. We had to pull liquidity in order to move it over to V2, and in doing so, there was a lot of SafeMoon that came out. So there was an excess
that wasn't put in V2.
Yeah.
Why wasn't it put in V2? It just
it was given to, or well, not given, but John sold it to the I guess you could, I don't even know how to classify what you would say this transaction is, but so because the exchanges need to obtain the SafeMoon, they got it from that pool, and the SafeMoon was intended to be sent to the holders anyway. So we figured, the liquidity is still the liquidity.
Now, I'll be honest, the liquidity is still the liquidity is a pretty weird answer. Basically, they're saying those millions of dollars we made, it's all just part of the liquidity. It's all legit. And I had to ask Thomas about this, where he thought this money that was being generated came from. So I'm like not satisfied by this. Like the exchange deal makes no sense to me. I don't understand why millions of dollars or 55 million needs to go to Bitmart for exchange deals. This makes no sense to me. And what John was saying, apparently, is he told someone with the Bitmart deal they were about to be put into a new tax bracket, right?
He said what?
He said, we're about to be put into a new tax bracket. Why would he say that if he wasn't going to personally profit from it?
Right.
So
that sounds like something to say.
Here's my question. Like, okay, explain this to me. Because obviously we both know money can't come from nowhere. So
sure can.
Let's say if you're just migrating the funds from V1 to V2, no money is generated for SafeMoon. If you migrate V1 to V2, but you do it in that weird way where you put a buy order and you end up with millions of dollars of SafeMoon, and then you sell that SafeMoon to an exchange, all of a sudden money has been created for SafeMoon. And you're telling me that has no price impact for the people of SafeMoon?
I don't think that's how that works.
The price, I guess, the value impact will come from volatility, but only on the V1, V2.
Big yellow cup. This is my Dickies cup.
Somewhere it didn't come from nowhere, right?
Right.
I got.
How can that be? How could SafeMoon be?
I'm bored, Cloud. I don't know what to do.
The same argument could be made about an unlocked LP in John's hands. So the reason why he wants it unlocked is so that he can use it.
Right.
So he doesn't have to go through this process. Likely. Because that's a lot easier than just, So these other exchanges were so willing to do this deal because SafeMoon comes with a lot of, they've come with a lot of volume.
Yeah, they're going to get a ton in fees, right? So so again,
if he used it for something other than what he should have been using it for, the man should be called out.
So here's what I'm seeing. Like, SafeMoon is making millions. The exchanges are making millions.
Yeah.
Who's losing millions?
Customers.
Right. The people who take the fees.
The investors.
That's where all the money came from.
Yeah. There it is, folks. Money doesn't come from nowhere. If you can take anything from this video. If SafeMoon suddenly is making millions, it has to come from somewhere. And if it's from the LP, that's a problem. Because again, that was supposed to be locked up. Now, I also talked to Papa about the fees Bitmart stated they were taking to give back to the development team to be placed in the LP. And I wanted to know, were they doing that? So the second part
Absolutely not.
I got this from their website. So they say that, and I understand maybe they weren't perfect about this, but they say they charge trading fees, and that 5% will be directly redistributed. Okay, we know that. That's reflections. And then it says 5% will be returned to the developers to be added back to the liquidity pool for SafeMoon tokens.
Oh. Yeah, that's something that happened after I was. That's the V2 thing that I left before V1 was discontinued.
No, this is from April 2nd, 2021.
Oh,
so this
okay.
This should be last year.
Okay, so that's not really how we did it though. Up until V2, when swap and liquify was turned on, so we only ever manually transferred LP for when if the LP contracts needed to be upgraded. But still, there's a ton of locked liquidity on V1 still.
Right.
And it's going to be there for like.
The fuck? Dude, I am so fucking bored. Look at some drama. I guess we'll look at some drama. Come on, drama.
Once again, we have more H3 drama. The H3 drama just literally never ends. And today we're taking a look at a video by a smaller commentary channel who decided to call him out.
There was also a lot of really famous clips that came out of there.
Girl dads? Oh no. Girl dads? Oh no. Let's see what this is. It's not the thing I wanted to be in. Why did it do that? Toxic girl dads? Oh no, this ain't real. Cloud, no, this ain't real. You made this. Let's see this.
Greetings, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. Obviously, like that.
Come on, come on, come on.
Dad sit down with his like very young daughters who probably can't even read and get them to sign like a contract that says no boyfriend until 2043, no boyfriend until 2056, etc. There are thousands of them, and they get hundreds of thousands of likes too, and a lot of people like laughing at it and joking about it and stuff. And I cannot express how weird it is. Like, these are the same people who love to go out there and be like, let kids be kids. Stop forcing sexualities on our children.
I don't like her. She's very annoying.
Alrighty, well, hello, sinners, and welcome back to day 7 of the 12 Days of Sinmas.
Dude, I just want a girl dad compilation. But I don't want it explained. I want to see it. This just seems obsessive and weird.
Such as
This just seems so fucking dystopian. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, it's just weird.
Ethan Klein being like, I-dubs, I love that you say the N-word, and then just saying the N-word a bunch of times.
Mostly for reasons that I don't really agree with, but I'll let you be the judge of that. Enjoy. There's someone named Mika's Rhetoric that I guess...
Yo, fucking Ela's. You see Ela's fucking cowboy hat?
There's someone...
Look at this cowboy hat. Ela's got the best cowboy hat. I want that cowboy hat. Those men are property owners, not fathers. Yeah, they're kind of weird, dude. It's kind of... You're not raising people, you're raising cattle, basically.
Someone named Mika's Rhetoric that I guess...
It's
made
weird.
Some video about Ethan.
It's super weird.
It's a very long video. A nuanced conversation on H3 and public perception. I'm curious to see what this is.
Hi everyone, it's me again, and today I'm genuinely the most terrified I've ever been to ever talk about anything, ever. And I wish that was a joke, but alas, here we are. So today we're going to be talking about H3. And I'm just going to talk about my feelings, my thoughts, the complexities, where I've been, maybe how I felt like I've been too complacent in certain things. I felt like I've, maybe run a little bit too much defense. And
so she feels like she's run too much defense for Ethan. She needs to shit on him now. So she's a commentary channel with 50k subs. Let's see.
Dude, I don't like Ethan. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Y'all know my feelings. Ethan's a little bit better than Hassan, but he's not much better. Still a virtuing signal piece of shit.
What she makes videos about. The end of the entitled beauty influencer era. So she's like a T channel, basically. She's like a T channel, something like that. It's really sad people who are worried about harassment, so this is supposed to be 100% right. She got harassed. As an ex-H3 fan, I've watched you for years, and the way you explain the truth in an unbiased way is unprecedented. Let the trash take itself out. They post brain rot with zero credibility or education behind their takes. Just mean energy trying to get...
Absolutely. Brain rot.
Watching them. Never went back. Literally anyone with a brain cell knows how deep you delve into the very precarious topics. It's laughable Ethan would attempt to make it seem like any less. More so, any person who has the opportunity to learn from you is ahead of the game. Thank you for being so passionate and motivated. Alright, so apparently this girl is super base, super educated.
Apparently she's fucking taking the trash out.
For the first 6 minutes and get to the good part.
And my student teaching internships. So that's why I'm saying these things in advance, okay? Now, I have the lineup of how I think this started from the inception of the podcast to now. So this will be, I guess, a chapter. I'll talk now. I might just...
It's so interesting to watch this arc because I feel like what happened before was Ethan attracted this commentary audience and then he shit on them. And he got rightfully criticized, I think, by a lot of people. Gokanaru, probably the biggest one. He made a great video back in the day. Has some flaws looking back, but good video. My video definitely has some flaws looking back, but still pretty good video. Nick's part, we did a collab on that, me and Nick Diorio. But now, then he kind of accumulated this other audience, this like big lefty audience, and now they fucking hate him, right? And they're all coming after him for various reasons. Sometimes it's Israel-Palestine takes, sometimes it's quote-unquote ableism. And another interesting thing that's happening is like when Ethan was in the lefty arc, right? A lot of them would defend him for his old edgy racist stuff because they'd be like, oh, well, okay, when I say racist, I mean like jokes, right? I mean edgy jokes, obviously, right? But they would defend him and be like, well, that was so long ago, he's changed as a person, doesn't matter, which, is fair. But now they're looking back at that stuff, they're like, Ethan was racist the entire time.
Disclaimer, my politics, and then whatever, okay? And if people think that I'm weak in that regard as well, I understand, honestly. And I also have like a pretty, bringing my mental health is very silly, but again, I just want to be honest, right? I have a pretty intense anxiety disorder, and the only time I've contemplated quitting the internet with like certainty was in reference to discussing Ethan Klein before, and I was treated in a way that maybe allegedly in Minecraft could be considered harassment because
Allegedly in that could allegedly in Minecraft. Jesus, man, cover all the bases. There's about to be some tea.
Account where they were dedicated to like saying all this stuff about me and how evil I am, and then they were DMing people that I'd worked with on other videos that I was this horrible, evil, morally corrupt individual and all this stuff.
So she's saying she talked about H3 and then she got harassed as a result, and there was somebody who was being like a psychotic person. I mean, that sucks. I feel bad for her. You know, I mean, anxiety disorders are real for sure. But I will say, if you're a commentary channel and you're publicly calling other people out, having an anxiety disorder is going to be a very tough position to be in. A very, very tough position to be in, because the internet is not a psych.
It's one of those things. It's like, if you're gonna call people out, you either A, have to just not give a shit, or B, be very medicated. Very medicated. It's like one of those things. It's like you have to like leave internet and life separate. It's like they're like two totally different things. I don't know. I think she should be alright. She just fucking gets offline at the end of the day.
The internet is not made for your mental health. The internet, especially in the commentary community, is like
psychotic
throwing ideas out there, throwing insults, throwing out criticisms, and a lot of that stuff will hit you if you're in this space. So if you have an anxiety disorder, you might have a very hard time. And there's not really much you can do about that. You know, obviously this is worst case scenario, what she's describing here, right? What she's describing specifically with someone making accounts is worst case scenario, but there's other stuff as well. There's other stuff as well that can happen to you, as far as just getting a lot of shit in the comment section that I feel like somebody with an anxiety disorder would probably have a bad time with.
When we talk about the
Thank you,
inception
Patrick
of the podcast,
Paulin, for becoming a member.
it was not responded to well for a long time. And this has been discussed by many different videos at length, including so I was watching. I always know that I'm right when I have the opposite opinion of Nicholas Diorio.
Hey, yo,
What the hell? She's calling out Nicholas Diorio? That's funny. That's how you know you're right, when you have the opposite opinion of Nicholas Diorio. Alright, he's historically always wrong.
I was watching Ethan Klein's video, or the H3 podcast episode about, and I haven't watched it in like a year, so this was like shocking to see these like vast differences, different setup, different show, everything like that. Chatting in about Dan Clancy or whatever, like the CEO of Twitch, and being like, oh, Ethan's gonna get all the tankies.
Oh, dude, y'all know about fucking, what's his name? Dan Clancy. This dude right here. This dude is the most hypocritical piece of shit on the internet. My God, he preaches Twitch is a place for everybody, but if they don't fall into the far left crowd that is okay with the supporting terrorism, i.e. Hassan, then they can go. We don't want them. Fuck Dan Clancy.
Oh, but I was like, man, when I'm watching it and I'm having trouble getting through it because I'm just cringing.
Because he used the term tanky. Well, Hassan is a tanky. You think you should drag capitalists out in the street and murder them. That is what a tanky is it not? It's like an insane communist.
So hard. And
Yeah,
then my bestie
that's what
comes
Hassan
in and
is.
Like, you're slaying.
Psychotic.
Okay, so I'm right.
Your bestie came in and said you're slaying, therefore you're right. That's a good point. Very true.
Anyway, when
Did she not make a fucking script? Like, she's just rambling. You're making a call-out video on someone. That's like, it's not even a stream clip. It's like an edited commentary video. I feel like you should have a script maybe for this stuff.
the podcast came out, a lot of people criticized Ethan for being really unprofessional. There was also a lot of really famous clips that came out of there, such as Ethan Klein being like, "iDubbbz, I love that you say the N-word," and then just saying the N-word a bunch of
I
times.
love that iDub says the N-word.
The clip with Joji saying that women were at the time was still doing.
Isn't she like she was like a fan of the H3 podcast, wasn't she? I mean, a lot of people in the comments are like former fans. You guys realize that those clips were from before you were fans of him, right? Do you not realize that?
Yeah.
On the internet, I think, as Filthy Frank, saying that women were made to be submissive to men.
Thank you, Jasmine,
or
for the
apes
donut.
or whatever, right? Our Neanderthal cousins were probably just like crazy. So there's definitely something like in us to like conquer men want to like conquer.
Right.
So it's, you know, women are
With Post Malone. Saying this of Post Malone is crazy.
in nature setting to be conquered.
Look at his face.
There was also the clip.
I mean, I guess in the animal kingdom there probably is a lot of so I see the point he's making. I guess that is a crazy thing to say around Post fucking Malone and Joji when he's kind of coming out of his edgy arc. But I mean, in a nature
Fucking when did Joji stop Filthy Frank? 2017. Dude, Joji is like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Joji is like the creme de la creme. He got in, made a bag, fucking started making music, got into a music contract, dropped YouTube right before the apocalypse. This man was legendary. I love Joji.
Setting, I mean, there are a lot of
He's hilarious
wild
too.
animals that do that. Unfortunately, it does happen.
Where Ethan Klein was talking about Jewish people in Israel and commenting on their hygiene and commenting on some things that should not have been commented on in the way that they were.
The Jew, well, and I mean Ashkenazi Jews were all inbred. That's why we all have all these
Really?
neurological.
He's a Jewish guy joking about Jewish people. This is not okay now. A Jewish guy can't joke about their own people. His wife is literally Israeli. He can't make jokes about this. This is this is too far, really.
Diseases. Holy shit! Because back in the day, we had our little village and we fucking ran around in our little suits, and nobody wanted us, so we're like, well, each other. And to be honest, there's like stinky suit wearing, like, bro, you have to be very generous to fuck Hasidic Jew, right?
I'm not touching that one.
Oh, well, I'll
gonna
tell
say to that?
I mean, well, I've lived in Israel for 5 years, so
This is a much better era of Ethan, dude. Bring this back, man. Bring this back. He's clearly joking. Like, is the point she's making that these jokes are like bad taste or something, or he's anti-Semitic as a Jewish person himself? Is that what she's saying? I don't really understand.
they wear the suits, they got the hats, they don't shower nearly enough. When it's 1,000,000 degrees outside, they rock the black suit. They stink, bro. They stink, and you know they don't shave. You've seen their face. Imagine what their dicks look like.
Wait, I always thought those were like fake.
No, those
Those are real.
Those aren't expensive.
Those are real.
Wait, they're real?
That is commitment. I guess if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it.
Their faces look so gnarly. So imagine what these dudes look naked, and they're all pretty fat too, because that that wife's at home cooking. That's all she does.
Not all fat.
Well, a lot of the ones you see are.
Many of them are.
Can we get a picture? Yeah, let's see this.
Yeah.
I'll be the judge about.
It's funny how even during this era, some of the guests like Jack Jones or Internet Common Etiquette are like, "Ooh, we was Romans, true."
Hot they are.
Harry.
No.
You asked for it.
So those clips were already coming out, and then
What you say? These clips were coming out. I've seen.
Who
these clips
gives
for
a
long
fuck?
time.
That's
I've
like
seen
6
these clips
years
for
ago.
Fucking 10 years. You say these clips were coming out. These were on the same channel that you were subscribed to, that you were watching. Ethan was making jokes about Ben Shapiro and how he should get gassed while you were watching, and that was fine. But because it's Ben Shapiro, it's fine. Is that it?
also there was criticism.
Exactly.
This is boring. I remember the episodes with just Ela and Ethan being quite boring back then, especially that the guests were kind of all that it was. So, and people were really upset that they were no longer making the H3 Productions videos, which were their most popular and most liked content to this day. Progressively, as Ethan Klein started hiring more people, you started getting kind of like a co-host dynamic almost. So, it's like you have now Dan, the producer. You have Ian. You have
Putting her
Zach.
on 1.5
That was the
times.
crew for a long time. Circa 2020, whatever. They hired AD and Lena. We're both Lebanese, and it's going to become relevant soon. Then you also have the hiring, who were also fans of Ethan's. He hired AB because AB ran defense for him when another creator named Gokanaru made a really long, pretty okay, actually. Like I remember liking it even back then. Hit piece on Ethan Klein. And then
That's true. That's a little piece of lore. You guys remember AB? The guy that Jake Doolittle was sort of stalking. So AB, I don't know if the channel's still up, but it used to go by Starkiller. Oh, it is still up. Here's the channel.
Hey guys.
Basically, Gokanaru back in the day made this video criticizing Ethan Klein. And for those who don't know, the Gokanaru video was like the first really big video to criticize Ethan Klein. It got a ton of views, got Ethan a ton of hate. And he ended up responding on a podcast basically saying that most of what he said was true. You know, it didn't last too long. He kind of walked back a lot of that stuff. But he did at the time acknowledge that most of it was true. But Starkiller had made a video defending H3, right? That's what he had done. Maybe that video's not up anymore. But he had made a video defending H3, criticizing Gokanaru. And based on that, Ethan then hired him to be a producer on his show.
AB ran defense for him as Starkiller with like a mask on or whatever on a video, and he hired AB and hired Lena as personal assistant. Then you get also hiring Cameron Grants, who was making memes on their subreddit a lot, do design work. Hiring Sam, who used to be dating Ian to do graphic design stuff for him, and said
I can't imagine a world in where your title for fucking your title for employment is I make memes for the H3 subreddit. Like, how the fuck do you explain that? Social account manager? Like, what the fuck do you say in those situations? It seems so like esoteric to me. I have to pee quickly. Oh shit. Oh man, I can't change it. Fuck, I can't change it until I end stream. That's so stupid.
Dude, she's from that one clip. Sam's from the one, dude. Ethan Klein chestnuts. This is like a greatest hits compilation. The chestnut incident they call it. Okay, why does he hire his fans? I mean, hiring some fans can be fine. Some of the people that I've paid in the past have been people who were watching my content and liked it, and they have really good skills. It makes sense. At the end of the day, a quote unquote fan is just a viewer of your content. They're gonna understand it better. Trying to hire people for contract work or as a full-time employer, a full-time employee that don't know the YouTube game and don't understand your content is fucking impossible. You're much better off hiring someone who understands your content and actually watches it. People from traditional media who get degrees in that shit, most of them have no idea what the fuck they're doing when it comes to YouTube.
Did someone erase the cutie video? Where'd it go?
Off of
Why?
If you are able, look at women who are not selling themselves or benefiting off of being seen sexually.
Chestnuts roasting over an open fire. If someone's crying, it's so funny, dude. It's so funny. Come on.
You're a monster, dude.
Ethan trying to conduct himself differently, Klein, by the way.
You guys are crazy. Why did you do that?
Wait till
Zach,
you see
what the
Sam.
fuck, bro?
Her face, dude. So she left the podcast, and I think she now has a podcast with Cutie Cinderella, funnily enough, which is a really funny turn of events. Yeah, so she actually hired Sam from the H3 crew. I think she has a podcast with Maya Higa and Sam from that clip. Big Red did not like it too much. Let's see if I can actually find the channel where Whine About It. Is this it? Okay, so she's the producer for the show now, I believe, is the way it works. She's not actually on the show. But yeah, there you go. This is like a greatest hits compilation. And keep in mind, Ethan did unfortunately apologize for what he said there, even though it was a pretty funny moment. He did go out of his way to apologize.
Hello, everybody. I wanted to come here and
He's
discuss
so sad.
The situation with Cutie Cinderella. I didn't really have a good opportunity to discuss it on the podcast, and I did want to say something publicly about it. So forgive me for putting it on this channel. I'll probably also talk about it on Thursday and Friday, but I just want to kind of discuss it with you guys. So on Monday's episode,
He's so sad.
we were covering the news.
I feel like he doesn't actually feel bad for the joke.
Cloud, do you know where Zetzley is or what the fuck he's doing? You don't have to know. I was just wanting to know if you knew.
I feel like he said this to not torch the relationship with Ludwig and Cutie. That's my take on that.
That one of
looking back,
these Twitch streamers got caught paying for a deep fake subscription for one of his and featuring some of his colleagues. You know, was
face,
really
dude.
dumb and rude and careless in that moment. But yeah, it's something that happens a lot, as some of you guys probably know who follow me or are aware of me. And yeah, I don't know why. You know, I've tried to be mindful. I think I've made progress in some areas and some areas not. I've tried.
So sad, man. Back to the video, but once again, I feel like we're going through a greatest hits compilation here of the best podcast moments.
That design, that kind of stuff. Then you have hiring of another fan, Olivia, who does writing. I'm staring because I'm just trying to remember like what her, because she kind of does everything. So I'm trying to remember her role.
What happened is lame. AI deepfakes are lame, but she was so dramatic. I think it's totally fine that she cried, okay? Cutie Cinderella is like a normal girl. She's a streamer. She sees that some freaks are making AI deepfakes of her getting fucked. You're not gonna like that. As a woman, you're gonna feel very violated by that. As a guy, you would feel violated too. But it's totally fine for her to feel violated by that, and I do feel bad for her. I just don't think the clip of Ethan was that bad. I think it was funny, but I do think it's totally fine to feel bad for Cutie Cinderella.
She seems to do research and writing stuff mostly. Then you have also the hiring of Swedish, another fan, Love, who does social media. I think that's right. Yeah, so Olivia does. Is that everybody? Now there's a new guy.
Dude, you just gotta script this video, man. You gotta script this fucking video. Come on.
Named Nathan or something.
People in the comments are like, this is so well thought out. She's like trying to comb through her memory to even remember what's happening. Playing your video out.
No idea who he is. Anyway, as they hired these people, and a lot of them being
Tom and his Simpson arc? What does that mean?
quite young, a lot of them being like Gen Z. I think Love and I are like born the same year, born a couple months apart. And I'm 24, by the way. You start having these like, I found, you start getting a lot more of these people who are much more progressive, politically progressive, and ideologically progressive than Ethan. AB and Lena, because Zach, so Ian does say
I feel like Ethan's always been pretty ideologically progressive, though. He just makes jokes. That's a crazy frame. I feel like Ethan's always been pretty ideologically progressive. I feel like he's never said anything super insane. Like I've never heard him give any remotely conservative take. I've always thought Ethan was a liberal.
shit. Like Ian's like hiding. Okay, so we don't know about Ian, but you have, and then Dan seemed to. I think Dan is very left leaning, but Dan also doesn't respond to criticism well. So when he has maybe socially conservative, even to a certain degree, like opinions on things, and then people push back, he, like Ethan, will kind of view it as the entire left's opinion on this entire subject and then just be pushed away. And then Zach, I would say, is somewhat on the more socially conservative side. Is it just how I'm getting?
What is socially conservative about them? What takes do they give that are socially conservative?
I have no
Like
idea.
Simpsonian, I'm all for it. So one time someone said I was emo Bart Simpson. I thought that was funny. Well, I don't really get what is their socially conservative takes. Do they not like OnlyFans? Is it something like that? What is it?
Gauging them. I could be completely wrong. This is a discussion again. So, but what I'm saying is that environment was pretty stable in a sort of awakened centrist / center left vibe, right?
Awakened centrist? What is awakened centrist about the H3
The
podcast?
fuck
They're
does
all
this
left-
mean?
Literally every single person that is on the fucking
They
podcast
like
is a left-
disavow
is a
everybody.
center-left liberal, not a left-leaning person? What does that even mean?
Now, when you started hiring AB and Lena, who are Lebanese, who have been affected by a lot of these conflicts in the Middle East, even though I think they're both born in the United States, but Lena's parents, for example, were recently in Lebanon, etc. Olivia, who seems to be quite progressive and is very, ideologically and socially left-leaning. I don't know what Love's doing. He doesn't say much. Cameron also seemed to be a pretty progressive person. Sam as well. So you started having this sort of environment that was fostering these ideas more openly. And when you have your researcher,
Is she talking about like socialism or communism? Is this like economic? Is this a purely economic issue for her? I'm not totally. I could be wrong here. I've never heard anyone like Dan give any socially conservative takes. I don't know what that would mean.
who is a sort of kind of left-leaning person, and AB as well was also doing research, you start to your content begins to tilt. And then you get to the debate era where Ethan Klein was
Jewish people are right-wing by nature now? Yeah, I guess maybe according to some people.
debating Pearl from Just Pearly Things. He debated the guy who's claimed that he cured Tourette's. There was also the debate that he debated Fresh and Fit, I believe, at some point. There was, which I didn't watch that. I think I'd already checked out at that point. There was also, there were just a bunch of a lot of them in the beginning were people I didn't really know. I think that might be why I can't remember all of them. But anyway, there was these debates, right? And then streamer Hassan Piker was reacting to them because it was the same sort of universe of content creators that he was against himself. From the debate to the Red Pill guys, where a lot of the defenses tend to have to be these kind of left.
Is Hassan Piker dead yet? No, he's still alive. Fuck.
Leaning ideology. Ethan Klein presented to a more left-leaning audience, and left-leaning audiences really like to watch people get dunked on like that. I think the very first one, which involved Hassan as well, was actually talking to Aiden Ross about gambling. So now you get the show Leftovers, which ended essentially right after the events that occurred on October 7th, which has kind of led to a lot of the downfall. But I think something that a lot of people...
Oh, I see. Okay, so she is just a turbo lefty, basically. That's the downfall. The downfall is essentially because Ethan, I guess, didn't say that Israel needs to be destroyed or wiped off the map, basically. Maybe that's it.
We're not considering... Was there...
Although, in fairness, Ethan did have some kind of very misinformed take he had to respond to. I'm not a big politics guy, but... So, my knowledge of this is kind of limited, but... Gokanara made a pretty good clip about this where Ethan had made some claims about some guy that was a member of Netanyahu's war cabinet. I think he and maybe Ela had said that guy was kind of progressive, or he was not a war hawk. but that ended up being really wrong. Ethan had to apologize for it. I don't know where the video is. I don't know which video it is. Is it this one? It might be this one, but I know what happened. Basically, Ethan was not as informed as he thought he was. The entire podcast is heavy center left and not left enough for her. That seems to be the take, basically.
Quite a few small spikes that began hitting people. And I don't want to reveal the exact comments that I found, so you can take my word for it or you can not, just because I don't even want to start getting into like any of the identities on the Snark Reddit or any of that kind of stuff, because
I don't want to reveal the exact comments I found. Why not just reveal them? You're calling out Ethan Klein. Plan out your video, Mika's rhetoric. Come on. I'm not even trying to be mean to you here, but it's like, just plan out your whole comment. It's not that, like, just get the evidence for the claims you want to make.
Because Ethan's going to go buck wild on that if it ever gets anywhere. I've been reading, like, there was a post about being a fallen fan, which is what Ethan Klein refers to people who no longer like his content. I guess technically by that design, I would also be a fallen fan. But the juxtaposition that Ethan Klein often puts towards fallen fans are people who are like borderline neo-Nazis. Like these sort of people who really liked conservative content, they liked anti-SJW stuff, they really hated leftists, they whatever. That was who he used to position mainly as these like fallen fans.
That is what he was saying, which is not really true. That was definitely a thing he was saying. He was like, oh, well, I attracted a big conservative audience, now they hate me. But I just don't think that Ethan was ever that conservative in the first place.
I don't
feel like
think he was either.
He was making jokes. Like, if you look through his old videos, like, for example, the video he made about, like, Casey Neistat, right? This is an old video, okay? 8 years ago. Because Casey Neistat made this video where he was like, Hillary Clinton, I'll be voting for Hillary Clinton. And Ethan, in the video, even said, I respect him for saying that, you know, he wants to vote for Hillary Clinton, getting his audience to do that, but I just personally wouldn't do that.
I realize I'm a little bit late on this one. Me and Ela just returned from a little vacation for our 4-year anniversary.
What Ethan said about the war cabinet wasn't wrong at all. It was the word choice of him saying he's a good guy. Well, Ethan seemed to think it was beyond that.
Found it. We had a great time. Thank you. Let me explain. Casey Neistat is a very popular YouTuber who made a video a couple.
Like, this is the era of him being super right-wing, apparently, when he had a super right-wing audience.
He wasn't right-wing then.
Why did I say it like that? Audience. When he apparently had a super right-wing audience.
I will be voting for Hillary Clinton.
Casey endorsed Hillary with such gusto. He basically fucked her in the ass and gave her a reach around. I mean, he went full service for her, which is fine. And frankly, I even respect it a little bit because I know it can be so divisive and difficult.
I thought Casey Neistat should have been killed for saying this. I was like, great, now YouTube's going down the drain.
He gets into this whole thing about how we're all morally obligated.
Like, this is like the most quote-unquote conservative thing he said. And he was like, I think it's totally fine that Casey said what he said, and I respect him for what he said. So I don't really understand, man.
But now,
I think H3 was part of the anti-SJW crowd, which I guess can be called right. Is it really right-leaning, though? It was mostly just making fun of those, like, the people like the humongous girls, Arna Joshi, right? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't really right-wing.
It was making fun of those leftists who are, like, going out of their way to, like, cause problems for everybody, left and right. That's who he's making fun of.
Of fallen fans that are those left-leaning people, which now Ethan Klein often refers to as extremists, which is being often quite inappropriately used. So,
I mean, there are a lot of people who are mad at Ethan now who are extremists. Those people do exist. I would call Hassan Piker the definition of an extremist politically.
A lot of the people
I would call Hassan a terrorist-leaning extremist.
brought up these other
He won't commit a crime, but he'll promote it.
referring to as the Hassan Piker crash out, which I'll get into soon. And I want to go through those events to remind people what they were, to sort of maybe place people in where they started feeling a disconnect with the content. So the first thing I could think of, which is not something that many people really brought up, and this is going to sound really
No, right now I need to fucking tweet out something, because I just want to stir up controversy. I have to tweet out something. Look at Hassan the Hun. He is the definition of stupidity mixed with confidence. When is your training arc? I don't know.
really crazy to come out of my mouth.
When's yours?
Prolapse fixation is an issue.
What?
It is. She's an issue.
The prolapse? What is the prolapse fixation? Thank you, Danky Kang, for calling me over. What is the prolapse fixation?
One, you have the issue of that's kind of gross. So what happened with this?
A butthole prolapse is gross. I guess I agree. What is the fixation?
This is it started with Howie Mandel just raw posting a prolapse on TikTok where it was someone prolapsing through a pair of shorts or something, and he was like, "What's going on? Is this COVID or something?" So it became a meme because everybody's like, Howie Mandel, the known like germaphobe or whatever, plus like just beloved TV host, just not having any idea what he's looking at. He says he thought he sat on something.
Early symptoms are cat-eared headphones. Oh no, I've fallen into the hole. Nah.
It was like a boomer gets TikTok moment, and it was quite wholesome and funny, right? But then what ended up happening was Ethan Klein became obsessed with this and started showing this to everybody, to TikTok to everybody and stuff. But then also got involved with this sex worker named Hunger FF.
So he showed people a TikTok of Howie Mandel not understanding he was looking at a prolapsed anus. Okay.
Who was really famous for utilizing his prolapsed rear end to make content. And what he would do is he would sit people down and force them to watch this content when they were being interviewed by him. So he did it to Howie, which I guess sort of contextually makes sense. I think he might have had him do it.
Wait, so this is like part of her problem with Ethan that he jokingly showed someone
That he showed a funny clip.
Kids. He wasn't showing it on the air. He'd be like, "Oh, look at this crazy video, Howie," and then they wouldn't show it on YouTube because he'd get banned for that. That's it.
Person, which is even worse. Then he showed, but so I mean, I guess to a certain degree, you can go, yeah, that's like a joke, right? Like that was the guy who did it. But why was he showing Stavros? Why was he? Is that his name? I think so, that's how you pronounce it. Why is Brittany Broski have to watch this?
I just sent it. This is the video I was saying I was worried that you were going to show, and you were like, "I wouldn't show that."
Why would I do that? What kind of psycho do you think I am? All right, you're not showing the screen, right, Ian?
You're just gonna show me?
Yeah, well, if I show this at home, I'd be banned on all.
Oh, girl, we're halfway there.
All right, so
Wait, so this is the problem is that he showed them something weird to get a funny reaction from them. This is like her biggest problem. This is in the same conversation as the Palestine stuff. Is this?
It's only a minute long. Okay.
This is when she started to feel disconnected apparently from H3.
It says.
It's amazing.
Yeah. But maybe you can bail whenever you want, but it gets better towards the end. So it says, "Is this COVID related?" Yeah.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Wait, did you not see this, Eva?
No, I didn't.
You did it?
What?
Wait. Look. Why don't make me look at this by myself?
They're all laughing. It's like when you show your friends a shock video. This is the worst thing in the world. Brittany Broski is a prisoner, dude. She's being put in a fucking camp by Ethan with this one.
It's like, actually, no.
Is she like a victim? What is the point here?
You're crazy. Oh, that's making
Hi, Cloud. Welcome to lunch.
This is actually kind of funny.
I love Hunger.
Why are we making Anthony Fantano see this, right? Why is this being forced? This is not comfortable content. This is not, they're not really consenting to this a lot of the time. I feel like there's definitely like a...
They're not consenting to it. His friends who come on his podcast are not consenting to being shown a prolapsed asshole, and that is part of the problem with Ethan Klein. Everyone in the room
Walking on my fries waiting on my fries to finish cooking.
I feel like I need an escape.
I want some fries.
I should have just played Lego Batman. I shouldn't have gone to this. Okay, I should just play Lego Batman all day.
We should have played Lego Batman.
And the crew will often push back on this as well. There's also the event, and this leans into the next thing too, which some people refer to as Bottomgate, where...
Bottomgate? The name is Bottomgate?
Linking to this prolapse thing too, people really felt that Ethan Klein was, how do I say this, inappropriately pushing homosexual men as inappropriate, maybe? Not inappropriate that he doesn't believe in it, but it was like a joke, kind of, you know?
Alright, so I see her tweeting about this. She says, H3 fans lying that they found the school I work at, haven't worked at a school for over a year. Okay. I don't know if any H3 fans have done this. If they have, that's really bad, but to be clear, tweeting about this is not a good thing. You should not be tweeting about that kind of thing. You should not be tweeting about people going through your personal information. That's a very bad move. A very measured response to a commentary video. By the way, I'm not teaching right now. Say goodbye to your teaching job, lol. I mean, that is a clearly insane comment, but like, why are you highlighting this one comment from an insane person as if everybody's takes are reflective of that? You say, I wanted to be charitable and discuss what happened. It spiraled into so much more. Another dummy taking a ticket and getting in line. Lots to talk about when we return. Dude, what is this? What is this mentality? It's like, okay, so she makes a video criticizing someone, he responds, and now it's spiraled into so much more. You made a video criticizing a public figure on a public platform.
Yeah, are they not allowed to respond?
Did you not expect in any world that he could respond to you? You thought you got me? Ha, I'm not even employed? Yeah, literally. I don't even have a job.
And then there was this whole
I don't leave the house.
I watched this episode because I think they started it and I got so cringed out that I just stopped watching. And this was
like, people are so obsessed with people's tone. You can say whatever the fuck you want about someone, apparently, as long as your tone is nice. You can imply that they're a genocide supporter. You can imply that they're showing people like assholes against their consent and that they're like victimizing them. But as long as you say it in a nice way, it's fine, apparently.
something that I noticed was common with watching H3. A lot of people go, yeah, I couldn't finish the episode, it was like too cringe. And I'm like, well then why are we watching it, Queen? Because I watch a lot of other people, you know? I don't cringe out of their content halfway through ever. If I do, I kind of never watch them again. So what's happening with this, you know? I've never watched like a ContraPoints video being like so icked that I need to leave. Or I've never watched like a Smokey Glow video or a Megan Ann video or an Adam McIntyre video or even like a Foodie Beauty Girl World reaction channel video or where I've just been so icked that I need to like
No, you're so icked. Well, I'm sorry that Ethan gave you the ick, dude.
bounce, you know?
Why not
So
just...
what happened essentially was they were talking.
It seems like the fact that you don't run into stuff that you don't feel comfortable with and then watching it seems to be like an echo chamber thing where it's like you only want what's okay with you rather than looking at all the point of views.
About like tops and bottoms and that whole concept, and then the chat was pushing back, being like, "Hey, like this is starting to sound kind of homophobic or whatever." Dan starts yelling at them, Ethan starts yelling at them, and everybody is really like annoyed about this combativeness where people were just trying to kind of push you in a right direction.
Can she just play the clip? Can she? I think I remember this clip. Can she just play the clip that she's talking about? Ethan, H3 podcast bottom conversation. Can she just play it instead of just like summarizing it? Compilation of Ethan using homophobic language. Is this it?
He has some anal leaking. Now we were saying, well, if he's getting blasted in the ass hard enough, potentially, you may need to wear a diaper. And
That's a good point. I mean, biologically speaking, things aren't supposed to go in there. You can choose that if you want, but you may need to start diaper maxing as a result. I think that's a fair analysis.
a lot of you will say, like, okay, we've had a
Like, is it just disgusting to you to hear about what gay guys do? Mika's rhetoric?
debate. Like, I don't
Who
think
even is this? I don't. She's some commentary YouTuber with 50k subs.
vaginas increase in size from sex, but assholes actually do. If you have
Really?
a lot of anal sex, you can actually blast open your anus. Frequent anal sex can result in a blasted open asshole.
Is that not true? Is that not true?
Maybe he's just got railed real hard the night before. He's a
You cannot hate gay people while also acknowledging the idea of a penis going into a guy's butt is kind of funny. Frankly, going into a girl's butt is pretty funny too. But
Penises and
Sorry,
butts
Jenny
are
hasn't
funny.
experienced this. Well, I would never speak on that kind of allegation. That's just private allegation type thing.
All right, let's see something cool.
Welcome back to Trigger King RCTV. It's event number 4.
Fuck yeah!
Of the 2024 racing season, as we're going sport mod racing, representing sort of that middle 90s era of monster trucks where they ran fast and they ran straight down the track, Penda style typically, but we're adding some turns and some excitement into the racing as we take a look at the top 3 in qualifying with Black Pearl as our top qualifier. Moving on into round number 1, Snakebite and Orange Thunder are on the
Let's
line.
go, Orange Thunder! Come on, Orange Thunder!
16 and 17 position in qualifying, charging to the finish
Oh!
line. And neck, just like 16 and
Oh,
17
winner by
should
penalty,
be.
Orange Thunder.
Orange Thunder takes the win by penalty. A 2-wheel infraction on Snakebite. West Virginia Mountaineer, Dana Gosh
Dude,
in the near lane. And
I gotta say, this is the peak of humanity right here. Like, these people right here, they get together like every fucking year. Like 4 times a year. And they race RCs in like this fucking dirt track area. I love it. I love it.
Aquabats. Isaac Ankrum in the near lane. Aquabats, the 8 qualifier. Cheech way down.
Ooh, he destroyed him.
With Mountaineer, and it's just not going to be his day as Aquabats takes the measure in round number 1. Cheech right back up on the line with his Predator truck, an awesome looking new truck for this season, up against Austin 316. We'd expect no other from Josh Rhodes.
Fuck
Big
yeah.
Stone Cold fan, so rocking the Austin 316 and rocking the victory. As you can see,
I want El Toro to win. No, Gravedigger. I want Gravedigger.
G-shaped track. On the line now, it's Chris Hackinson and El Toro Zombie and Gravedigger Greg Coffey, one of the newcomers on the circuit. He's trying to make a name for himself, get some track time.
Oh! That's a
But it's
wipeout.
gonna go down to the zombie. In
Wait,
round
does
number
that say
one.
Batman? This is Batman.
The Batman. Troy Haas, all the way out of Colorado with that awesome-looking Batman truck, facing off against JB Scale Graphics
Fuck
with
yeah.
Chris Lane in the far lane with some
Go
issues in
Batman.
the final corner, and the Batman takes the win. Number 5, Chain Reaction, Iron, Aaron James, facing off against Troy Haas in his awesome Kong truck. Troy was just on the line in the same lane, but Aaron James and Chain Reaction will win this round. Now James is back to back as he
I want the
brings out his
Punisher to win.
Roadhog, swapping lanes. He had lane choice in both pairings here, but choosing to swap lanes as he faces off against Fred Kors and the Punisher.
Ooh!
And maybe he should have stuck with the other lane as the Punisher, Fred Kors, takes the win.
Come on, Orange Fury. Oh, Xbox Bigfoot?
Low down the bracket, Bob C. Chandler and Bigfoot Xbox, the number 15 qualifier, and the number 18 Orange Fury 2 Chris.
Ooh, that was a good one.
Xbox.
See, this is high octane sports. NASCAR doesn't have anything to do with this shit. This shit is the shit.
Has control and moves to round number 2. Chris Hackinson, we saw him a second ago with El Toro Zombie, back out with Pinkalicious, El Toro Loco Pink against Chris Parrish and Equalizer. Wow,
That was a close
hard
one.
Charge to the finish line, not a pretty run, but the great charge to the finish gets it done for Equalizer, the number 26 qualifier. The points leader way down in the bracket. Number 10, Taurus, Jeremy Mark. And Monster Patrol, Mike Bufka, the incredible immense replica, sporting.
Oh, he's fucked. He's done.
Taurus is all tied up. The Battle of the Willman chassis goes to Monster Patrol. King Kong Chris Lane, the number 14, facing off against Fred Kors and Sudden Impact, the number 19 qualifier. This could be a solid race. Kors new to the series this season. Lane back after an absence, and he's been looking strong. Both drivers charging to the finish line, and Sudden Impact gets it done. Number 6, Barefoot Racer Chris Parrish and TMNT Andy Salerno, the awesome-looking Michelangelo-bodied monster truck in the far lane.
Wait, is that a Ninja Turtle?
Parrish in trouble. Oh, but recovered.
Oh, it is a Ninja Turtle.
Not a clean race by either competitor, but Barefoot Racer moves to round number 2. Michael Spurlock, the Iron Outlaw in the near lane. In Big A's wrecking. Andy Salerno in the...
Oh!
You see that wheelie over the first obstacle. It was wild, but it cost him. He's trying to recover. He got it back on the wheels, but nothing doing.
He rolled it completely.
Iron Outlaw. Round 1 went quickly. We're on to round number 2, and this is our first sighting of our fast qualifier.
Orange
Black
Thunder.
Pearl, Josh Rhodes, facing off against Orange Thunder 2, the number 16 qualifier, Chris Blank.
No, Thunder, you fucked up the fucking... No, come on, Thunder.
In his first round of action with Black Pearl.
Come on, Stone Cold.
Matchup.
Austin.
Aquabats, Isaac Ankrum, and Austin 316, Josh Rhodes. Rhodes back to back. Ankrum in trouble in the far lane, two-wheeling one of the obstacles. But Austin gets to the finish line first anyway, so that'll set up a Josh Rhodes matchup in round number 3.
Come on, Batman.
How that goes.
We want Batman to win.
Zombie facing off against the Batman.
No, come on, Batman.
High up in the points and gaining some more
I'm upset.
points as we head towards the
I'm upset.
season finale coming up soon. Only a few brackets of racing left.
I'm so upset.
Chain Reaction, Iron Aaron James, and the Punisher, Fred Kurz. James back in the lane that he won in round number 1. Not completely smooth, but getting the job done and punishing the Punisher. Jeremy Mark, the number 2 qualifier with the Buffalo trimmer. He's had some issues with this truck this season, but he's looking good here today. A high qualifying spot, but he's got a tough matchup against Xbox Bigfoot, Bob C. Chandler.
Oh,
neck and neck to the final obstacle.
that's
Trimmer
got
out
to
of
be
shape,
hard.
Xbox Bigfoot sneaks the victory. A number 26-23 matchup in round number 2. Equalizer, Chris Parrish and Monster Patrol Mike Bufka.
Oh, he spun out. It's over.
Too much power in the first turn. Parrish with a little bit of a kick, hitting the car stack in the final set, but no penalty. He takes the win. Destination, Bob C. Chandler on the line. Sudden impact in the near lane, some issues. All Chandler has to do is
Impact
get to the
fucked
finish
it.
line, and he does. Our final pair in round number 2.
Iron Outlaw.
Matchup, the 6-11 matchup, Barefoot Racer and Iron Outlaw. These two guys have had some strong races so far this season. Barefoot off to the lead, but a big mistake. Oh, wow, that was nearly costly. Iron Outlaw charging, but Barefoot barely getting it done. Moving into round number 3, it just feels like we're flying through this bracket. It's El Toro Loco Zombie and Chain Reaction, a 4-5 matchup. James won in the blue lane in the prior 2 rounds. Will that affect him? Hackinson with a good home in that blue lane. Who's got the advantage? Right now.
Oh, nope, he fucked it.
The Zombie Bull.
See, when you hit those middles, it's over, dude. If you spin out, it's over.
Equalizer, Chris Parrish, and Xbox Bigfoot. This should be one heck of a race.
Oh, shit.
Chandler hung up on the turn car.
Dude, Equalizer smoked him.
Out, but this time it goes
Dude, Equalizer is out here putting in the work.
They're right back up on the line. Chandler and Parrish swapping trucks. Same lanes, Destination versus Barefoot Racer. And showing the tit-for-tat nature of this rivalry,
Damn.
Chandler takes that one. And the Black Pearl defeats Austin 316 as
Holy shit.
face each other. So he had to choose which one will move on, and here it is, the semifinals. Black Pearl, the number 1 qualifier, and the number 4 qualifier, Chris Hackinson and El Toro Zombie.
Watch the light.
Ooh, ooh.
El Toro Zombie knocking off the number 1 qualifier and moving into the finals. Who will he face? The number 3 Destination Bigfoot or the number 26 Equalizer coming from way down in the bracket?
Now I want to get an RC car.
Oh, Parrish in trouble.
Oh, he's fucked it.
Trying to recover, still neck and neck to the finish line. But by about 2 truck lengths, Destination gets it done and moves to the finals, setting up a number 3, number 4 matchup. Destination number 3.
I want El Toro Zombie to win.
El Toro Loco Zombie.
I want the zombie El Toro to win.
Bob C. Chandler in the far lane. Hackinson, a relative newcomer to Trigger King. This could be a big feather in his hat to knock off Chandler and take the bracket. Chandler in trouble. Wow.
Who won?
Definitely going to the TK replay on that one. Neck and neck heading to the final corner. Chandler with a little bit of a lead. but awkward between the obstacles. Oh my goodness, Chandler heading off towards the tabletop, Zombie charging, and right there you see
Zombie won.
I think he flew past him in the air, and Zombie got it done. Waiting for the
We called El Toro
to
Zombie?
come down, and it's El Toro Zombie.
Yes! Let's go, El Toro!
About half a tire as he flies by at the finish line. El Toro Zombie and Bigfoot Destination.
These are the standings. Oh, Zombie, he's 21. TMNT did awful, dude. Okay, let's see.
A RuneScape-addicted emo teenager who stabbed his classmates. A vegan conspiracy theorist who starved himself and stared at the sun until he had a mental breakdown. A carnivore who bit into animal carcasses at vegan rallies and ate rotten meat on camera. A serial abuser who started a cult in Romania and stole his girlfriend's passport to keep her from leaving. An attempted murderer who blackmailed a man into throwing acid on his ex-wife and 2-year-old son. It may be hard to believe that these are all the same guy. But
What?
His name is Sverige, and he is the ultimate internet psychopath. Sverige's real name is Gatis Langsdish, and he was born in Latvia, which we know thanks to the About Me section of his old YouTube page. And when I say old, I mean ancient. His first account was created in 2006, and it really showed since his page was decked out in emo music and aesthetics, which he was heavily into at the time. Imagine having your emo phase documented online. Couldn't be me. His channel was centered around RuneScape, specifically a part of the game referred to as PKing, meaning killing other players for experience and loot. By the time he made the channel, he'd already been playing for a year under a different alias, Kids Rank. According to Sverige, his first RuneScape videos with that name became popular because of the unique emo music he played during them, which led to a bit of a blunder on his part. You see, he wanted to host the music he used in his videos, but had no space left on his main channel. So he created a secondary channel called I'm Into Kids Rank Music, which sounds a lot like I'm Into Kids Rank Music. Regardless, Sverige became something of a known figure in the RuneScape community, claiming to have gotten 6 million views on one of his videos deathmatching another player. Despite how many hits his videos got, it was clear that his obsession with the game was waning. After one of his accounts got repeatedly hacked, he sold another one and abandoned 2 others just because he got bored of maintaining them. He continued to make RuneScape videos, but it was clear his interest were branching out. In an archive of his channel, his About Me section was updated to include the following passage. I hate humans. I enjoy reading about mass murders, school shootings, and stuff like that, hoping that they will release the Columbine basement tapes someday. But this isn't the first time that Sverige manifested these beliefs. In 2006, a Latvian news article was published that read, yesterday morning, Gatis Lagsdiņš, a 10th grade student at Ventspils First High School, mentally lost his control and slashed out with a knife at 4 of his schoolmates. The injured students were taken to Ventspils Hospital, but the injuries were not serious. After treatment, all 4 went home. Christine Krlovska from Ventspils Criminal Police said that the attack was probably induced because of the past humiliation and bullying he received. It seems that Gatis Lagsdiņš was obsessed with a film about the shooting at Columbine High School. He also planned to take himself out, but he backed out, said Leva Rexna, head of the state police's press and public relations department. There is very, very little information about this case online, not just because of how old it is, but also because it took place in a small city in Latvia. There is one other article that seems to be covering his case, but it omits his name entirely, where it includes the claim that his attack on the school was him reenacting a movie. A Kiwi Farms poster claiming to have been a part of Sverige's audience at the time commented on this, saying, Gatis used to be obsessed with a Columbine shooting. He'd bring it up a lot unprompted. I think he requested to delete some entries from the Wayback Machine because I recall him being very public about this and even had it on his YouTube profile. In the late 2000s, he tried to reenact Columbine at his high school. It prompted a lot of trolls to spam it all over his videos once it was found out, but it had very little effect. The guy was a legend in the RuneScape community. He blocked and deleted all the spammers who tried to share it on his videos. Later on that same year, he further distanced himself from RuneScape content by privating all of his videos, which his audience didn't take very well, and they even resorted to calling him an N-word F-word. Shout out iDubbbz. Some of his videos were re-uploaded, but Sverige was done with that kind of content, now focusing solely on music-related uploads, even creating a blog about it. This rebranding wasn't half as successful as his former work, but he didn't seem to care very much, as he continued to just do this for the next few years. For a while there, the people following his online presence had no idea what he was like as a person, until 2011, when he began revealing himself to be a bit of a conspiracy theorist.
There's probably close to 4 million practicing Satanists in the United States alone, based on my intelligence.
context, late 2000s YouTube was absolutely riddled with this kind of schizo content, and it had a lot less stigma than it does now. But still, this was very much out of left field. His videos started consisting almost exclusively of unedited vlogs of him talking about the New World Order and the Illuminati. Given what is known to happen when long-haired Northern European guys into dark rock music start believing in conspiracy theories, this was a really bad sign of things to come. It's not worth it to get into the many hours of Sverage's schizo rants, so to summarize, he'd become the Eastern mysticism flavor of conspiracy theorist. He believed that morality is relative, there's no such thing as good or evil, nature is magical, religions were created to manipulate humanity, and so on and so forth. Although it is kind of absurd in a comedic way when he explains how he thinks that there were no planes in 9/11, it gets a bit more worrisome when he seemingly begins to use his rationale to justify.
Nope. Then what? What was? Okay, no, I can't.
Things like sadism.
People like killing other living things, maybe other human beings. It's not up to us human beings to say that they are doing something that is bad. For one thing, we've been given this choice to do it by nature. For that reason alone, it cannot be seen as something that is bad, because clearly it's welcome. So you may say, well, those people are brainwashed or mentally ill, something like that. But it may be us who don't kill other people that are.
While his view counts were still very low, this kind of content definitely had an active niche that Sverage quickly connected with. In 2013, he created a forum called An Instrument for All to further engage with his audience. Though it's no longer up, we can see through Wayback Machine that it had plenty of user activity covering all sorts of controversial and esoteric topics. Sverage often participated in the threads, explaining his beliefs and practices to other users, such as him cutting down on consumption of meat and the benefits of something he called sun gazing. If that sounds like staring directly at the sun, it's because that's exactly what it is.
That's fucking stupid
for a variety of reasons, but absorbing it via your eyeballs doesn't seem like the smartest strategy, or maybe I'm just not sun-gazing pilled enough yet. In mid-2014, Sverage's fringe beliefs expanded to the point that he began not wanting to be active on his own website anymore, thinking that he spent too much time on the computer. This, along with his general inactivity and him no longer wanting to pay for his housing costs, led to the forum being shut down. Around the same time, Sverage, who up until then lived in the UK, left for Berlin, where he met with a few like-minded peers, namely Jerome and Tom, the latter of which became one of his closest associates over the following years. This trip coincided with a noticeable intensifying in his deranged belief system, which can be exemplified in one upload of his whose title I can't even read without getting this video demonetized, but the intro to it is pretty avant-garde. In it, he explains that when people go gorilla mode on each other, without consent, it's because something like a vibration takes over their body and it suspends their rational thinking, which is a very abstract way for him to rationalize a horrific crime. Unsurprisingly, he pairs this with a confession. When he was 16 years old, he took advantage of a girl who had passed out.
When I was 16, I tried to touch a girl's genitals or breasts when she was asleep.
Why is this guy not in jail?
Revealing this was a good idea, especially since he immediately changes topics right away without commenting on it. This is something he has a habit of doing, and it really doesn't bode well, especially when he talks about extremely sensitive issues. In this same video, he talks about pedophilia, and it goes about as well as you'd expect.
I've seen a documentary, for example, where a man was by an older male when he was a child, and then later did it to other children himself. So this is the kind of circle of life.
For context, a couple of Kiwi Farms posters who claim to have personal experience with Sverage shared a lot of previously unknown information from this time period. The first person claims to have met Sverage when they were teenagers in 2006, when he was 17. They became friends, but he became extremely concerned when Sverage confessed to him that he had abused his 12-year-old cousin. The user thought he was joking at first, but Sverage doubled down to detail exactly what he did, which is so graphic that I'd rather not get into specifics. The next testimony is from someone who claims to have known Sverage a few years later. According to them, Sverage befriended and indoctrinated minors into his philosophy. But that's not where it ends. He allegedly groomed two teenage girls, ages 14 and 16, the latter of which he traveled to see and actually slept with. However, his relationship with them imploded when the younger one found out what he did, at which point she leaked nudes and personal information of the others online. The poster added that the only thing that kept Sverige from sleeping with the 14-year-old is because he didn't consider her attractive enough for him, referring to her as a stick. For the time being, these are only allegations with nothing but the users themselves to back it up, but these are recurring themes in Sverige's story, as we'll come to find out. The second poster had also mentioned some kind of assistant that Sverige had, a 13 or 14-year-old who became very enamored with his ideology and met up with him multiple times. People speculated this was probably the aforementioned Tom who he met up with in Berlin. Regardless, at least at the time, most of the people in his audience weren't familiar with these claims, which isn't surprising given how negligent people were with these online situations all the way back then. What they were aware of, however, was that Sverige was sun-gazing, which he made a habit of doing throughout 2014. Now, it's at this point that Sverige transitions from his skepticism about meat to full-on veganism. The only times he wasn't regularly eating exclusively vegetables was when he ate nothing, except for, you guessed it, sunlight. In one video, he says he spent 8 hours sun-gazing, and was frequently fasting as the sun was providing him with the nourishment he needed. Soon after, he uploaded a video that consisted of a compilation of clips from Alex Jones and Gothic King Cobra.
We are now entering the vortex. Full spectrum overall integrated systems analysis integration, field theory unification, overlay. Okay?
Ghosts of my past haunt me. I say fuck them and keep walking down this road of empty river track. Cause my mind's ever more open, expand like an empty burial track. Just keep walking. Nothing to do but talking, just keep walking. Living life one day at a time.
I gotta say, some of these clips are definitely fire. After this, Sverige spent almost 2 months in a psych ward. This happened because he became such a radical sun gazer that he went an entire month without eating, something he claimed to not regret.
But I was just completely happy. I was. It was.
No, you were going
the
insane.
purest moment of my life. It was just pure sun gazing all the time, and just even though I almost died, that's what the doctor said. I definitely don't regret it.
You should. You basically made your body go into criticality.
I started eating 2 days before I got to the hospital, and my body was just not really understanding what's going on anymore. So I went to the shop, and some woman saw me, and she said, "Do you need like help?" Because I just couldn't really even walk anymore. My muscles had died off. Everything. The body was not working. Total organic failure.
He says in the clip that he felt fine for the entirety of the period he didn't eat, though he was noticeably losing a lot of weight, much of it being his muscles deteriorating. He claims he needed to go to the hospital only 2 days after he started eating again, which is possibly explained by refeeding syndrome, a life-threatening condition that happens when you resume eating normally after a long period of fasting. When the police took him to the hospital, he weighed under 100 pounds, when a guy of his height should be weighing at least 160 at the very least. In the hospital, they kept him on a diet of only fluids for a while to avoid anything like that happening again. 9 days in, he was sick of this diet and started trying to remove the tube, which made the doctors think he was anorexic and trying to harm himself, quickly relocating him to the psych ward. During his stay there, he started eating solids again and quickly got to a healthy weight. While he does take this opportunity to warn against doing what he did, he continues saying that his prolonged fasting and staring at the sun gave him a lot of benefits. We stan a schizophrenic thinspo king. Despite effectively not changing his stance on fasting and sun gazing, he did reconsider his veganism, as throughout 2015, he went from being a strict vegan to eating a regular keto diet with pretty normal and healthy food. That is, until he started exclusively eating raw meat and eggs. Despite these strange
Why?
he remained remarkably normal and mentally well, as you can see by this completely sane music video. It's rare that a man is deranged enough that he manages to become the worst representative of both vegans and carnivores alike. To the surprise of no one, within just a few months of his raw animal products diet, he developed food poisoning from eating bovine bone marrow that contained life-threatening bacteria. However, he claimed this wasn't a problem with his diet, and instead, a sign that the butcher contaminated his meat with chemtrails. Mind you, he ate everything raw, including poultry and fish, which can contain salmonella. He even went as far as to say he'd tried expired meat, saying that there could be some health benefits to eating fully rotten meat. Now, I'm not a nutritionist, but that doesn't sound like the brightest idea, especially coming from a guy who just nearly died from eating bone marrow. In mid-2016, he hosted a meetup to interact with some of his followers. And though it's mostly normal and uneventful, Sverige throws a few jabs at Tom for still being a vegan, giving us glimpses at his increasing hatred for veganism, despite having been one in the past. Another highlight from this period is a video he made celebrating 7 years of unemployment. You heard right, the man has not worked a day since 2009, which prompts the question, how does he even make a living? Warren might be misled by him being half naked in the woods and promoting a hunter-gatherer lifestyle into thinking that he's living off of nature like his ancestors did. But in a bit of a Freudian slip, among all of his criticisms of the system and his claims that money is just meaningless paper, he mentions that he needed papers in order to make his unemployed lifestyle work.
Since July 2009, that's when I stopped working. That's when I lived in England still. So the last 8 months in England, I didn't work. And I was still 20 when I moved to Germany. So I actually got my papers done, because if I would have been 21, it wouldn't have worked. So there was luck.
What he's most likely referring to here are some form of disability checks, most likely related to the psychological evaluation he was forced to undergo as a consequence of his attempted reenactment of Columbine when he was a teenager. This is reinforced by one of the KF posters who claim to be closely familiar with him, and as far as I'm concerned, it's the best explanation for how he can continue to live the way he does. Well, that and stealing. In one of the aforementioned posts, Sverige is described as a kleptomaniac who serially shoplifted because, in his own words, it gave him a joy boost. He specified that he only thieved in stealth, never actually robbed people directly, probably because he was afraid of getting beat up by whoever he tried to rob. He also actively promoted it to the teenagers in his IRC, telling them that this is how he financed himself besides the government benefits and the payments he got for taking care of his girlfriend. We haven't gotten to the girlfriend part of the story yet, but it's worth pointing out that despite just being allegations, these same stories get reiterated by multiple different, seemingly unrelated people. In another set of uploads from this era, Sverige revisits his criticism of organized religions, saying instead that everyone should just accept themselves as they are, including their urges to hurt, kill, or do even worse things to one another. In order to prove that these heinous things must be embraced because they are natural, he cites that some victims grow attached to their abusers, meaning that the abuse is just superficial and there is real love underneath.
Which is why a lot of times, when there's abuse in relationships, they actually stay together, because when there's real love, that's a connection of the souls, then that kind of superficial stuff doesn't matter.
His argument is that since everyone supposedly has these tendencies, we can't judge anyone who acts on them, even if we don't. If it occurs in nature, whatever that means, since technically everything is in nature one way or another, then it must be good and we need to let it happen. I wonder how this correlates with the allegations of him creeping on teens. To further demonstrate his sanity and well-being, Sverige's very next video was him describing how he was craving human flesh during his stay at the psychiatric hospital.
I was quite mad at these doctors there, because they were giving me this carbohydrate, and there's a lot of stuff going wrong there, and that's why I actually wanted to just bite one of them and eat them.
In this same video,
this man is not well.
Are much more wise and open-minded than we give them credit for. This already sounds really bad as is, but he leaves nothing to the imagination by giving an example of why he thinks this is true.
Kids are very open to everything, and that also reminds me how I used to sunbath nude in this one spot, and people didn't like it because they said kids also come here. As if kids would mind nudity. Kids are the last ones who will mind it. It's all the people who grow up and get manipulated.
Mind you, all of this is said in the context of his belief that the Illuminati practice ritual cannibalism and even worse things on children. But in his perspective, this is why they are happy people. In his next few videos, he speaks about how he finds murder beautiful, and his reasons that he'll never play RuneScape again, which I'll let you see for yourself.
You live in a world which is man-made. Everything that you care about is made by other men. This has nothing to do with how I live my life. I live on Earth, a flat Earth, and I follow nature.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't want to assume. I'm glad we know that he's a flat earther.
For a different video, but we are literally in a virtual reality, which is pretty much the same thing as any of the video games that you play.
Regardless of the topic, his videos mostly consist of him rambling incoherently while trying to assemble a point, occasionally going on tangents about why people who listen to popular music are dumber than and beneath him, and why vegans are scum. This last topic is actually what caused his split with his right-hand man, Tom, who was himself a vegan. According to witness accounts, within a week of the Sverige meetup I talked about earlier, despite having lived off of him for that week as Tom paid for his stay, Sverige proceeded to ban and shun Tom due to his veganism, which Sverige now ardently opposed. The severance of this bond with Tom was significant, since he was one of the very, very few people who stuck with him since way before he went off the conspiracy deep end. In all fairness, his falling out with Tom was just one of the many signs of his abandonment of normalcy. At the beginning of 2017, he's claimed to have been caught shoplifting twice in close succession. He was let off with a warning the first time, but the second got him declared legally insane, along with a fine and a threat from the German authorities that if he's caught doing it a third time, he'll be sent to a mental institution. Later down the line, we see that Sverige engages in a variety of controversial public protests in other European European countries like the UK and the Netherlands, but he noticeably did very few of them in Germany, probably in fear of getting in trouble with the law. But perhaps no symptom of his increasing insanity is better than his girlfriend. And to simply call her his girlfriend is to leave a mountain of context out. Though he has allegedly made
This
extraordinary
guy is
efforts to keep it
psychotic.
secret, the people who went to meet with him IRL have provided a plethora of details about Sverage's home life. One KF poster said he was paid to be her caretaker since she was in her early 50s and severely autistic and had OCD. According to this account, he employed her as a cameraman, during which he demanded she make no noise whatsoever, which she complied to exclusively during recordings, since when he wasn't recording, she'd loudly speak gibberish to herself in German. He also had her calling him Mr. Gattis and asking for things as if he was her father. During their time together, he apparently regularly cheated on her and, according to the poster, physically abused her, as she once showed him the bruises on her body from the episodes. This was supposedly done to let her know what he's willing to do to keep her from leaving him. All of this was unknowingly reiterated by someone in a YouTube comment, adding to the credibility of the claims that he physically abused her, while her parents sent thousands of dollars his way to travel around the world eating expensive food. Again, these are only the supposed claims of witness accounts, but at the least some of the claims were eventually confirmed by Sverage himself, which we'll eventually get into. Around the same time, we see a significant uptick in anti-vegan rhetoric, with Sverage going as far as to drop an entire documentary about how terrible the diet is. I won't comment on the merits of the points he makes exclusively against veganism, since they vary so wildly in degree of merit and aren't really relevant to this video. What is relevant is that at a point in the documentary, Sverage found himself once again promoting the validity of cannibalism as an alternative to veganism, as according to him,
How is that
human
the
meat is more
alternative?
nutritious and easily digestible. At this point, Sverage was waging a one-man crusade against vegans and relentlessly bashed
This
it
guy
in
has gotta have
soon
fucking
after the documentary,
salmonella
he
and
posted a
fucking
video
E.
titled, "The
coli.
Most degenerated and retarded religious sheeple ever." Gee, I wonder what he's going to talk about in this one. The general point of this gem is that in his point of view, vegans are just like religious people, attached to their identity and practices by nothing but blind faith, and that once they are destroyed by his truth bombs, they have no option but to accept the superiority of eating raw meat exclusively. But before you think that Sverage is just a psychotic Liver King prototype minus the steroids, don't worry, it gets much worse. He finally saw the light of reason and recognized that his diet was too rigorous and limiting, at which point he decided to introduce a new food item: high meat. If you're not a schizophrenic person who spends too much time on alternative health Reddit, you probably have no idea what this is. It consists of purposely leaving meat out to rot, usually in glass jars, sometimes with other things in the jars to alter the configuration of the bacterial cultures that will grow
Oh
on the meat,
my
often over the course of
god.
a whole year. Once the meat is sufficiently rotted, it's taken out and, you guessed it, consumed. Raw. This is something he'd already hinted at in the past and eventually made a tutorial for how to do it. In it, the practical aspects of doing this are paired with a bizarre philosophy: the belief that our ancestors who lived in nature and were, thus, healthier than we are, were high all day, every day, without the need to do any drugs. This claim is based on absolutely nothing, but regardless, he delivers it with the same conviction that he has for every other element of his lifestyle.
You can easily tell if somebody is healthy. If they are not high, euphoric, and don't perceive everything around them as absolutely incredible, then they are not healthy.
In his view, raw and rotten animal products are why this supposedly was the case, and the only reason why modern people think this is disgusting is because they've been brainwashed by the New World Order and can no longer understand or appreciate what proper nutrition looks like. He added that drug addicts only exist because people are no longer eating rotten meat, which I think is pretty easy to test if he really wanted to be scientific about it. All you'd have to do is give a crackhead a rotten steak and watch the years of addiction dissipate in a matter of seconds. Forget methadone, guys. Try moldy roadkill. Or don't, considering that he once said in a stream he's constantly bloated and only shits once every 3 weeks. Maybe it has to do with the fact that he doesn't drink water because he believes you're supposed to get all of your hydration from raw animal meat and blood. The rest of the video just shows him preparing the high meat, and a year later he actually ate it on video. Now, I'm not judging. If you want to go and eat rotten meat, have your fun, I guess. I will say, promoting it as a primary driver of living healthy, all while you look like a balding AIDS patient whose forehead could be used to shape tech deck half pipes, is not a strategy I'd advise. He didn't do this just the once either. It became something of a tradition for him to make and eat high meats on camera.
Oh, like eating chili.
Now, doesn't that look like a man enjoying the primal lifestyle?
No.
Given how attached he is to juvenile acts of rebellion, like insulting people over their taste in music and shoplifting, it's clear that doing this works in the same way for him. Eating disgusting, raw, rotten meat on camera is the schizo version of a middle schooler dipping his fries in Coca-Cola and pretending it tastes great to gross his friends out. If I'm being honest, that's probably the root of all of Sverage's insanity. Stunted developments that permanently kept him with the mindset of an edgy teenager. Uploads of his from this same time period include "The Illuminati Are Your Parents"
and water, healthy or deadly, urine drinking explained. Need I say more? What's crazy is that at least up until this point, he got very little support and barely had anything to call a community, as he progressively shed more and more of his original followers due to how fringe he'd become. Many people have made the point that lolcows are largely the creation of their trolls, but honestly, I tremble at the thought of how deranged people can actually get when there's no one to mock them for it. And Sverige is a perfect example of this. Throughout the majority of his online presence, he got very little attention, negative or otherwise, yet his lunacy continued to grow by leaps and bounds. Unfortunately, in 2017, he finally got in touch with people who not only partook in the same activities, but outdid him. One such person was a YouTuber known as Milk Jar, who went to a vegan protest and basically staged a counter-protest where he ate a cow's raw heart. The cherry on top is that this video is actually titled Vegan SJWs Triggered. Oh, 2017, how I long for thee. Milk Jar and Sverige were a match made in, well, not exactly heaven, but it was love at first sight, and soon after, they participated in a debate against the infamous vegan bodybuilder, Vegan Gains. The debate was kind of a botch, as it's not even clear exactly what they were debating. Clearly, it was vegans versus carnivores, but the first half was bogged down by the definition of what constituted a nutritious diet, a question where neither party found common ground. The second half, on the other hand, was monopolized by the question of which diet was morally superior, which is obviously very subjective and ultimately pointless.
Yeah.
We know that Sverige doesn't even subscribe to the concept of morality in the first place. And by the way, I did a video about Vegan Gains where I actually met him in real life, and it was pretty interesting, so feel free to check that out after you're done here. Mind you, this entire thing went on for a whopping 4 hours, and I pity anyone who's actually seen it in its entirety. While the debate itself wasn't anything to write home about, there are a few good highlights coming not from their diet's discussion, but from Milk Jar's controversial takes on other topics.
So when we're talking about nature, we're not talking about, are there people out there who think, something natural like rape is good? Okay, well, therefore it's good in that context.
Rape is good.
You think rape? Do you actually think rape is good?
Outside of society, yes.
Okay,
well, that's
here's the thing.
insane position.
You have to put ethics into a social context, because outside of a social context, ethics don't really exist.
It's in a social context.
Sorry?
I am putting it in a social context.
Wait.
Well, no, you said outside of society.
Let's just keep it right on the point, which is whether what's natural is what's good. So, I mean,
Yeah,
if you guys are willing, okay.
There's a saying about not being so open-minded that your brain falls out of your skull, but it might be too late in these fellas' cases. They really made Vegan Gains look like a rational and reasonable party, to the surprise of many. This wasn't a one-man show on Milk Jar's part either, as Sverige often contributed the best way he could, with incomprehensible rambles.
You're saying you would be for abolishing anti-murder laws, just to be clear?
It's not that simple.
Well, it really is.
If I had
Are you for the anti-murder laws or not? Do you want them removed or do you want them in place?
If I had a family, of course we would not murder each other because it's the family.
No, but we're not talking about your family.
This debate did little besides making both Sverige and Milk Jar look like insane buffoons, but it did have the side
These
effect
guys
of
are
sending Sverige's
crazy.
channel into a bit of a growth spurt throughout 2018. He definitely struck while the iron was hot, as he followed the debate up with bangers such as How to Fight Naturally, where he says everyone interested in martial arts has got it wrong, and he figured it out better than they did. His genius solution, instead of punching and kicking, obviously very unnatural and not something primal people do, you have to throw rocks at your opponents until they perish. So what this moron is proposing is using weapons, and I'm no historian, but I have a sneaking suspicion that humanity has already figured that out. Unless you're fighting a homeless man in a forest, you're much better off worrying about getting stabbed or shot than preparing for a Nordic man with hepatitis to Donkey Kong some boulders your way. His second brilliant idea is to jump on your opponent to prevent him from continuing to hit you. Little does he know that wrestling is literally the oldest sport, going back up to 20,000 years ago. But I'm sure it's inferior to Sverige Fu. Somehow, he also finds a way to sneak his penchant for cannibalism into the instructional video by saying that once you've succeeded in immobilizing your opponent, you should also start biting him for good measure. Again, despite all of his pontificating about what's natural, he can only put his little fight moves in a completely contrived context where he's fighting one of his half-naked cronies one-on-one in a forest. That's because if you tried literally any of these infantile moves on a professional competitive fighter, you'd get turned into a pretzel. His fighting delusions later resurfaced when he made a video reacting to Hafthor Bjornsson, a 6'9", 400+ pound strongman behemoth who is trained in boxing. Someone commented on it, asking him who would win in a fight between them, to which Sverige replied, "Not sure if you're joking, but 100% me. He wouldn't even be able to touch me. He wouldn't stand a chance. I'm so confident I would deathmatch him. No joke. He would never even lay a finger on me." A while after this little play fighting video, like the man-child he is, he started imitating Milkjar's antics and ate a goat's head raw at a vegan festival. This was immediately followed by a video of him eating 100 euros worth of raw Wagyu, flexing on the brokies in the very title. Sverige didn't just get more insane, but increasingly confusing, as it wasn't even clear anymore what line of conspiratorial beliefs he held. In one instance, he struck out against extreme right-wingers for being anti-Semitic, and even went against someone he used to respect, Alex Jones, calling him out for saying Sandy Hook was fake, going as far as to accuse him of being a killer. If you haven't noticed,